Into the seed. There we go.
Holding its hand, helping it to pee.
Helping to pee.
Important. The young and old sometimes need assistance in helping to pee.
Sometimes they do.
Tis a curse.
We are at Real Talk is Cheap, Season 8, Episode 5. We've got the Democracy Special.
I've got my democracy sausage on.
You have. We've got the Democracy Sausage.
And we're coming live and direct from your mum's back shed.
Back shed, yeah.
What an upgrade, mate. I tell you what, the sound and the acoustics in this back shed is way better. It's way better. That's what we love about your mum's house.
Such a back shed, eh?
So, the nation shall speak.
Well,
Sportsbet's doing the odds at the moment. They're heavy on one particular party. I'm not going to mention. It could jinx it. I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, so I'm just going to try and go live. I have
30 minutes in.
We're not 30 minutes in.
Well, music-wise.
Well, we are, I guess. Yeah.
So we're well past the boundary of having to have good taste. So.
Oh, I see. That's quite an interesting. Oh, wow.
Because we.
So this isn't obvious. I just want to just share. So I've actually got. I've now. I don't know what I'm doing now because not in a bad way, but.
Okay, good. You're not having an embolism or anything.
No, I have. I've actually managed to get. I think my calibration's sort of working. My right and left hand are being quite super stable. I don't know if you can see, like they're not flickering around.
No, I'm not looking at the moment. I'm
okay.
down at the back of the shed having a durry.
Stable-ish. They have stable hands, and as in they're not jumping left and right.
Yeah,
they're fucking fixed. But I've got actually hands that aren't leaping. So what was happening last week?
You're getting like full benty twists going on, mate.
Yeah, well,
your fingers were going through your palms and back out the other side. That's so crazy.
Was that? I thought that was 2 or 3 weeks ago now.
The beginnings.
Oh, hang on, no, I've lost hands. They flipped. It's really interesting. It's quite the challenge to
be patient. Like to be patient with something like that.
To get your hands to have the hands really stick. I mean, they're pretty good now. Like I can't tell you how much better they are.
I will be looking shortly. So.
Well, I actually mean even just for me, like how much they flicker or don't. Like they're a stable system that isn't going red blue. Like they're pretty much stable. I can somehow if they go off screen and come back on, it can confuse it.
Because on the anime's mapping, they use a blue for the base and green for the hands. So it maps both the hands. So
yeah, I've got the hands going. I just it's good. It's well, what I'm trying to say, what's good is in the last week I attempted to add a lot of stuff to the hands, and in doing so, shit got really complicated.
Got a bit brokey,
Well, I actually kind of lost track of the code, I guess, because it started getting not that it got too complicated for me. It's just there was so many things changing and so many lists, and so what I've done is I've now learned about making init files and subfolders and includes so I've got all my arrays and now not in my code. They're all in setup. Oh, it's so much more peaceful. I can actually read the code.
And it's like the old-fashioned calling. It's calling and then you bam, you get it.
Yep. So then I've spent a couple of days this week and looking at the code after I did that and reorganizing it and starting to clean it up.
Hands are moving way better. That's good.
Yeah, actually, I'll just bring them back up. There we go. You can see that they're just not flickering. They're not like jumping around.
Yeah.
And that's
your
me
elbow
trying
and your shoulder movement looks a little bit more natural and not doing the spaz outs. So that's good.
I've got to keep because of how the thing is. I've got it. There we go. So there's my hands more naturally, like down. Like I don't have to have them.
Yeah.
So I've still got work to do around now. Like I've actually now that my hands have.
You got depth. You got some a bit of wide going on.
Oh, I've lost that. So when they do that, that's not right.
So yes, say yes for Democracy Sausage, and it's been good. Like it was quite a turnout again, for the Aussie Democracy Sausage.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, I guess it was.
Well, where I was, man, it was packed. I had to stand in line. I was getting to know people while I was waiting to fucking get that scroll.
Yeah, no.
Just stand there and getting to know people, as you do.
Getting to know.
Well, you got this.
You do.
Obviously, he was fairly keen to get down the line, but this Chinese fella behind me, he was so close, like it was almost dinner and a date time. You know what I mean? Like, it was getting close to dinner and a date.
Dinner and a date in the line. Nervous.
Yeah. I had to keep turning my head to the side just to make sure he wasn't too close. Yeah. Once you pass the threshold, mate, then it is dinner and a date.
You've talked about this, isn't it?
Touch the merchandise, and then all of a sudden we're on a date, mate.
And it's the eye contact too. It's like like men wouldn't do that, but it's getting close, getting a bit.
Got to give them you got to give them the eyes. Look straight into them. And if his go down first, then you're the dog, right?
Well, that's right, and that's a position. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice.
It's a choice.
One should never feel threatened by making choices.
No. Coercion.
Yeah, true.
Coercion.
Not a good thing. Bribery will get you nowhere.
Well,
all right, it's policy, mate. That's the way I look at it. When it comes to true democracy sausage, it's policy which actually wins elections, not money.
Like trying to instruct
money
or
gets you so far, as you saw in the bombardment of the trumpeting. I got 8 fucking trumpet SMSs. Like I felt well penetrated by trumpet. You know what I mean? Their advertising campaign was good. And then when we went to look at the news the other day, here we go, news.com.au. What do we got? We got trumpet all around the edges.
It was just
yellow trumpet all the way. It was trumpeting harder than ever been trumpeting. It's quite an interesting site. That's all I can say. You know, as a someone who had to put up with that while I was building the Assumed. That's why I wanted it robot, man. I just got sick of looking at it.
Yeah. Well, no, we've got to get back to it.
There's only so many fucking mamas trying out the new sex pillow ads that I need to see, but I'm just like, fuck, is this a sex catalog thing that mama's trying out the new the sex pillow on news.com? Yeah, that's right.
I know, right? It's just it's.
What are we talking about here?
Well, you're talking about
democracy sausage, and that's what we've got to focus on, right? Because it is a heavy duty that we need to as registered voters, we've got a heavy duty to comply. And me, the last couple of votes that I've done, like I haven't donkeyed. I used to donkey in the past. There was a big donkey thing on there. I'm sure all the people were laughing at it when they saw it. Smiley donkey and stuff. Yeah, that's the one. But you know what I mean? Like these days, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm making sure it doesn't get rubbed out. I make sure my vote counts. Yeah. Take the pen. Don't forget the pen.
Don't forget
Make
the pen.
Vote count. Make it count.
Don't let them rub it out. Don't let them rub one out on you.
Possibly. Don't let them rub one out on you. That's right, because it could be dangerous for your health. That's the way. That's the way diseases get spread, when they rub one out on you. I'm telling you, because you want democracy to be solid and true, like truth. It's just truth doesn't mind being questioned, and that's what I love about democracy. Truth and democracy go hand in hand, mate. Especially when it comes to sponsors. Like when you've got, as a party, you've got sponsors, people that help with their donations. It's nice to know that, right? It's important to see who, obviously who you're aligning with. You might have shares. You got shares in that particular thing. Well, then you go, all right, well, these people have got all this money coming in from these people that I've got shares with. So obviously that's the way that, I should go. Understand your politics, What's best for the money? What's best for the money?
Don't think about anything else. For the money.
What's best for the money? Yeah. Who's going to shaft you with the least amount of resistance? Like, who's prepared to put the lube on in the way of policy so they can get the funk on,
Is that
get funking right into it,
Just lie. You mean how much they're going to lie?
Well, a lot of times that's what they're looking for. The voter doesn't really chase them up afterwards, do they? They just want the lie, mate. They want to believe that that's what they're going to give, and then when they're disappointed, they got something to whinge about.
Yeah.
Haven't they?
See,
so easy.
Come on, guys. They were shit.
Just pile on the lube. People love it. They just love it. That's how you truly can deliver your democracy sausage right up their, voting preferences.
Yeah.
Building better governments.
No, what are you even talking about?
No.
I mean, like, are you talking about that? Are we going to talk about that?
Well,
I don't know.
I was always for flux. Honesty and people's government. You know that. That was as soon as I was like, yeah, put that in. Go. Let everyone have it on their phone. Let everyone go, yep or no, and then bam, answers. Get a token. Once your token's spent, no more voting. Dunk. Couldn't be more honest, Si. Eh? And you can vote what you want in there. If you want your representative to be a ficus, then it sits in the seat. There's a ficus sitting in your seat with a little microphone and whatever. You can speak through if you dial up to it. And you can be the person saying, hey, how about this? Cut out the middleman.
Look, I mean,
if you're getting paid that much money, you want to be doing something, wouldn't you? Not just flip-flopping like a dead fish, Si. You'd want to be doing something to get that money, wouldn't you?
What, as a politician?
Yeah.
Well,
at least want to be doing something. Like if you made promises, you'd want to at least keep one or two, without, that'd prevent a lynching.
So what you're saying is maybe we would design, as a politician, you'd design a policy set so that you could achieve one or two.
Well, more than one, you'd pick things which are automatically going to happen anyway, and then you can claim the achievement. See what I'm saying? You can claim the achievement on it.
No,
and then you just make promises about everything, and then you actually delivers on the ones that are already going to happen, and then make the wild promises. That's right. Got to think smart, mate.
Yeah, well, that's it. Hey,
don't let the money go to your head.
And then
because
the
constituents are going to speak if you do.
The other ones that you said you just either
things are a lot more transparent these days.
You just blame the other people for them not happening.
True. Yeah, just shift it like a shifty shifter does, because it's always their fault. Even though you both planned it together, but it's always there. People manifest their democracy.
That actually came up. It came up today. And the oh my God,
we need a party. We need a party. So I've mentioned it myself now that we need a democracy manifest party.
And the guy don't need a party.
The guy needs to look exactly like the dude, and he needs to have Tourette's.
Like you did the
he needs to have Tourette's syndrome.
So everyone's got to put a mask on. You got to put the dude's face on.
Look exactly like the dude.
And just be like, my character doesn't have any.
It's like a poser party, right? They're just the one dude, and they've all got Tourette's. That's the prerequisite of being in there and wearing the mask, is you must have Tourette's syndrome.
You must.
Yeah, you must.
All right. I'm just gonna I think
paints a picture of the gallery. Like you either want Parliament or you got play school. I mean, it's either either. There's no in between.
Well, I don't want Parliament.
You want play school?
No, I don't want anything. I don't want either of them.
You want a new choice. You want option C. So
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, I do.
No, I'm pretty keen for option C because I've never had option C.
I know, right?
So maybe option C might be the way to go.
It has some merit. I mean, the first thing is the first idea of this option C. It's really crazy. So the first idea of option C is if you don't like anyone, you can say no. no.
Yes, but we've been talking about this for a long time. None of the above, mate.
Well,
and I don't understand why none of the above hasn't turned up yet.
Oh, there's a very good reason for why it hasn't turned up yet, my friend. Like, if you want to, I can take you down the rabbit hole of like Australian Electoral Commission results in electorates.
Oh, you don't need to, because it'll just
I think I have
listeners.
previously.
But we'd be hashing over old territories, wouldn't we?
But the informal vote wins. The people who don't show up wins. And the right to say no, it needs to be enshrined. Like, if you don't have the right to say no, then your yes means nothing.
True. And then that's when we went down that whole path of the donkey and the.
Well, you can't do that.
No, I know. We are not at any point suggesting that you draw a huge donkey's member on the
really,
paper
definitely,
with a smiley dog.
100%.
Do not do that.
That ruins your vote. It actually.
It does. It makes it so informal that it could get you in real serious trouble.
Well, no, it won't get you any in trouble because
it's defacement of some sort of public document, isn't it?
Well,
that's what it would come under if you were a space lawyer or something.
The correct thing to do, if you happen to need to draw a donkey's penis on your ballot paper, which is a response, it might be a valid response.
Well, there could be, because there is no other option to say no.
So then,
that could be your only way, an artistic expression of saying no.
You need to then take that to the returning officer in the poll. You say, I just need to speak to the returning officer in the polling booth. And you say, my ballot paper has become damaged.
Yes, it is damaged by my artwork. I'm sorry. I had some extra, the Zolanoff this morning. And it just tipped me over the edge. I thought it was my art class, all right? I'm not in my art class. I'm actually supposed to vote, but this is now an invalid vote. I'm so sorry.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, go for it. And then they claim that as the banner for out the back, like when they're having their cups of tea or whatever.
And you say, thank you. And they're like, are you going to just draw another one on it? And I mean, the thing at this point is, right now, the thing at this point is you're not allowed to protest.
No.
So if you start like doing multiple times, like it starts seeming a little bit kind of like, I did another dick. Like it just.
I think you'd be getting a sanity check.
Yeah, you could get something.
They'd be pulling people in to do a sanity check. That's it. It might be cool for the first time, but you know what will happen?
So
you would take a vote or a piece of paper, a ballot paper, out of the system.
It would.
And you would automatically get your vote. The next vote would be.
Yeah, you get another one.
Yes, but you've taken one of those sheets out of the system.
Yes. Yeah. I guess that's a weird.
Well, you would have, because it's an informal thing. They've got to give you another one because. Sorry, I got a bit carried away with my artwork.
That is not an informal vote.
Damage because I thought it was an art class. Right. Yeah, gotcha.
So because that would damaging it just means you keep
getting an art student, okay?
So damaging it just means you keep getting another one. So that's not, you can't, that's a loop. You can't be in a loop.
Yeah.
Right? Because
that would then, the alarm bells would start going off.
Yeah, so what you want, because what you actually...
Something suspicious is happening.
So instead of being in a loop, what you want to do is...
the lady that's looking after that particular polling station might become angered because of your behaviour.
No, it's still, honestly, we're still about to anger them. So genuinely, this has to be genuine, right?
Yeah.
If you feel, and I don't mean that it can't be genuine, like if you feel that your first preference is not on the ballot paper, that none of those are your first preference, then you can take it up to the returning officer and say, my first preference is not on the ballot paper.
Yeah.
And as a result, I'm unable to mark it.
The option out.
Well,
it's not available.
And so, and read the legislation and be very specific in it. But you say this thing, and they don't know what this is anyway, because that's not their experience. They don't understand the fuck. So then they will still break down. But what happens is, as opposed to you just having a piece of paper loop, you don't have a loop, right? Because what you've actually had is a crash. Right? So instead of creating a loop,
unavailable. Selection unavailable.
You want to create a crash. Yeah, you want to crash this. You crash it, and it breaks upon itself. And then
would have been much better. Like even if maybe saying to them when they question you about it, it would have been much better if none of the above was available, because I couldn't make my primary selection.
No, you don't say that. No, because that's not in the Electoral Act. You can't say things that are not in the Electoral Act. You're talking about a fantasy world. You can't.
Fantasies.
You can't talk about a. You got to talk about what's real, right?
Reality.
The reality.
The reality.
I don't know if my fingers are quite doing the.
No, they are. They're good. They're doing the reality mode. They're doing the reality. That's right. They're doing the reality mode. That's right.
Good.
Yeah, cool.
That you don't know because you got to be very careful what you say.
Very negative. Yeah.
Because they said, and because that isn't on there, you can't do that. That's not an option. So you can't ask for things that aren't real.
Yeah.
But then at this point, what happens is interesting, because you can't. So what happens is, if you can't mark a ballot paper, you can't fold it, because you can only fold a ballot paper
when it's completed. Yeah, that's right.
Well, so as to conceal a vote. So it has to have a vote on it, right? So you can't actually fold it if you've got a dick on it, because that's not a vote. You actually have to have that exposed.
Yeah, true.
Right?
That's
legally.
artwork. So
you show that legally.
Legally, that is art. and you can say there was damage.
It's just fucking, you follow the law, right? Follow the Electoral Act, and you watched it go haywire. Right. So, so you're going to take that up, and they're like, but anyway, but back to us, you got to go with a blank one, so that's not.
But you're getting some laughs while you're doing it, because obviously that part is a comedy bit. Like some might get offended, but a lot of people just look at it and go, "Oh my goodness."
But back to the problem is that if you put a dick on it, you've damaged it, and they have to give you another one.
True.
And then you're being vexatious. You're being started.
Well, you are causing issues because you're
causing
asking
an issue.
and you keep drawing it on.
I did another dick.
No, well, that's right. That is vexatious. So you'll probably be ejected.
So you can't. Don't
be ejected from the facility. That's right. Don't do that.
I have nothing on it. And then my preference isn't did it right, and as such, I'm unable to fold the ballot paper, right? Because then the only way you're allowed to put it in the ballot box is if it's folded.
Yes.
And then you can't leave the polling station. You're stuck because you can only leave after you've
folded and placed it in the special box. That's
so
right.
now you're stuck and they're stuck and it's broken. And what happens next is, as you can imagine, is they're going to freak out in some degree, even if you've notified them in advance.
Yeah, true.
Trying to make it so it doesn't happen because you don't want to cause a scene.
And peaceful, so there would be some sort of legal negotiator who can go, yes, this is acceptable. That's right.
Because then we get into this really interesting scenario. What are they going to do? Because if we get to the end of the day, in a federal election, if you're in a polling station with the intent to vote, you're allowed to be there after 6 p.m. There is no cutoff to that, by the way, in the legislation. Yeah. Just after. You can be there, right? And they cannot start counting. So you lock the entire booth, right? Because you crashed the whole booth after 6 p.m., right? And then this is very distressing to them.
Yeah, I could imagine it would be if you're trying to do your job. Because, like you'd be getting a bit heated by now, wouldn't you? Because you'd be wanting to finish up.
Yeah, you want to finish. Start yelling. So in the Electoral Act, it's very specific around coercion. The penalties around coercion, force, threatening.
I know. Yeah, for that bit. Yeah.
So, for example, if they started being verbal to you, so that's like verbal coercion.
Negatory.
Yeah. So they're now you have Australian Electoral Commission officers breaching the Australian Electoral Act on you.
Yes.
That's jail for everyone who does that.
That is. That is a federal offence, not a
serious. It's fucking serious business. Right?
Serious.
So you're not breaking the law. You're not breaking the law. Right? You're unable to market. You're just acknowledging that. You're just openly, instead of lying and breaking the law, instead of breaking the law,
selection. That's
instead of breaking the law and folding it and not having a vote on it and putting an empty one in there, which is breaking the law.
Yes,
right? Putting in a formal vote in there is breaking the law. So you're not breaking. You're trying to not break the law. So you're not breaking the law.
Putting a damaged form in there is also breaking the law.
Right. So you have to do this. Right. You have no real option. That's all available. Right. And then they break the law on you like motherfuckers. Right. And they might get the police. They might get the state police,
which really is none of their business. It should
none
be
of
a
their
federal
business.
Issue. That's right. None of their business.
And then the state police will come in and they'll have you on the ground and they're like violent, like threatening to harm you.
Well, isn't that also interfering in an election?
Yeah.
Technically.
So all those police officers,
yes,
they need to be arrested by federal police. Yeah. Because they're all now threatening, like in physical force and violence upon you to vote in a particular way.
Yeah. Which, isn't your selection.
No.
Good.
This is democracy manifest.
It is democracy. Get your hands off my penis. Okay?
Get your hands off my penis.
Don't even start.
You're on the floor
putting your hands on my penis unless there's dinner and dancing.
Being thrown to the floor, you're revoking my constitutional right as an Australian. You're right.
Be very careful. Treading on thin ice, they call that, aren't they?
Yeah, as a state police officer, you are revoking my constitutional right as an Australian to vote. And I'm not making this is fabricated.
You interfere with their stuff, they will fuck you up.
This is a real business.
You don't fuck with the feds.
And I've done this in a federal election, and they refused to press charges because there was no charges. Like there was nothing they could charge me for. I'd done nothing wrong.
You hadn't broken any law. Federal law. That's right.
No law was broken. And I told the police, I said, go in and arrest them because they've revoked my constitutional right. They've breached the Electoral Act in these fucking parts. I had the Electoral Act right there in my hands. I'm handing it to him. I'm going, hey. And he's like, I'm not going to go and do that.
Well, it's because you're always.
Bada boom.
Bada bang, bada bing.
When the organs, and you've got to realize this, the organs, they just come together. They just work together. Don't even make no mistake.
No.
They'll all protect each other, even they don't even realize
it. Big biz, man. Don't give a fuck. Don't
even think about it.
Your employee, listen to my song.
No, you just get fucked.
I don't give a
fuck. So yeah, I've illegally had my constitutional right to vote in Australia revoked by the Australian Electoral Commission and by using the Queensland Police Force, to threaten me with physical violence. And they were going to break my hand. They were going to snap my fingers.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, they were going to snap my fingers, and that's how I gave up my right to vote.
Undemocracy manifest.
That's fucking. That is
undemocracy manifest.
And wouldn't press charges after they were going to snap my fingers. Nothing. Crazy. No charge. I'd done nothing wrong. Breaking my fingers for nothing wrong. Yeah. Police, mate.
Groundbreaking. You got to break some ground occasionally, bro. You know what I mean? Like
you do, man. You do.
Yeah. If you're not doing it, no one else will. So true.
Which brings us to today, which is where I can't do that because unfortunately in my electorate, my preference is on the ballot paper.
Yes.
But because my preference is on the ballot paper, I'm unable to do the thing because if I did, it would be a protest.
Yes.
It wouldn't be genuine.
Correct.
And you've got to be, you're not allowed to protest in some polling, but you've got to be genuine.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's it. And seriously, if you are in there,
paid protesters need not apply.
Need not apply. Yeah.
No.
Crisis Act is not required.
Crisis Act
no,
is
it
not
just causes problems.
Get in the way. Get in the way of real,
a really
democracy manifesting.
Yeah, exactly. and there are and you just need like one or two people, well, just to go into polling booths, and you can just lock down like just swathes of the election, just bam, just lock down. Yeah. Massive scale. Like it's very easy.
And it's so easy. They could fix it in an instant. On the bottom, none of the above. Add inclusion, but none of the above. So, selection not provided, even if it's not none of the above. Selection not provided, where they
what
could
you
tick
need to,
that
it's important
in the bucket, and that's automatically classed as none of the above. It wasn't on the list.
Sure, I try not to get into specifying how it should be presented. I mean, I can. It's easy. Like you put a box that says none of the above or no or whatever. It's
or
blank.
just no selection.
Just no selection. Just leave it blank.
Selection not available. Yeah.
It's blank.
Yeah.
That's its meaning. Yeah, none. There was none on there.
None on there. But I could even into the smallest part of my being support or want to tick. Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the truth. Your second preference can be on there.
Oh, okay, but you don't have your first one.
That's right.
Omitted or just not on the ballot. Yeah.
My first preference, what I would prefer, right, is not there. Yes, it's simple.
I get that.
But you go, but my preference is not on the ballot paper. And you say your second preference, third preference, whatever. So, that's going to do because you can't mark your second preference until you've marked your first. That's illegal too. Well, it's not even illegal. It's just not possible. It's like I don't know, you can't.
Well, I know who I'm hitting.
Like when you actually write down two first. Like say you went onto a ballot paper and you wrote down instead of writing one first, you wrote 2 and 4. That actually you'd have broken the law.
So if you did it in reverse, like if you counted down.
That's breaking the law. That's breaking the law.
Okay. So you got to do it in order. There you go. Learnings of democracy, starring Em and Cyber.
You've got to do your first preference, right? And then you can follow. There's a whole, and after your first preference, then depending on the situation, there's a whole bunch of different rules because it depends on the type of election and a whole bunch of other things. What happens after your first preference?
They were explaining it when you were there and grabbing your paper. They're like, you can either do the top or you can just do the first 12 or 13 on the bottom.
How many rows on your bottom?
Or you can do the whole one.
That's
50-something. Mine.
50-something. Yeah.
I did all 50.
Yeah, I did all 50.
Man, I love it. It's like a puzzle. Just you go through it. And you're like, that's right. This person was pretty good, and this was, he was pretty funny, and he had some tweets that did this, and Facebook that did that. Because you want characters in Parliament, mate. You don't want just stiffs.
I don't want anyone in Parliament.
You want robots.
Well,
or it just gets turned back to people's land. Yeah, there we go. Turn it into a hotel. Parliament hotel.
It's not a requirement. You just don't. It's not required. Like you have government departments, and government departments have prospectuses.
They do their function. That's right.
Yeah, and they have prospectuses, like they already do. You can get a government department's annual report, right? What it spent. You can get all that. It's not that it exists.
You get your breakdown and your tax when you get it back.
And so if you have any, so when you should get the annual reports.
Well, you are a
get the annual reports, and you're like, fucking oath, man. And then you look at the thing, and they're like, we want to do this, we do this, and then you put your vote in. You put your vote in on their recommended changes and policies for the next year as a government department, about how they think they're going to make it better. And
maybe I want to up my fucking bribes to Indonesia to make sure we don't get invaded. You know what I mean? Fuck, man. Military spend.
It's like it doesn't.
$10,000 screwdriver.
It's not like those people can still be difficult people or favour their mates, or it's not like you avoid. You can never do that with humans, but you don't need pretend people like claiming that they make up ideas that they don't actually, very rarely. And I'm not saying none ever have. I'm just saying
follow through has always been the best example.
It's the departments and things, man. Like
you know what I mean? Like, if it does provide a good service and you keep it, if it's just loose and
whoever you are,
a money pit, then you get rid of it.
Like if you think you're the stupidest person in Australia, like you're just dumb. Like I don't mean like you got like it's some kind of mental thing, like you just don't know much about life or anything. You think that's who you are. I'm not saying that's who you are. I'm saying that's who you think you are. There'll be things that you care about. There's going to be things like whatever, like the road or the something like there's potholes, like
metal shavings.
And so you'll look down a thing and you'll go, oh, that is important to me, and that's fine, because if that's all that mattered to you was roads and defence, someone else would not have roads and defence, and they would choose to put their money into other things. Right? And even through our life cycles, we would move how we put money into the departments. You would think about, I need to think about education, or you'd be thinking, and that would be selfish.
You'd be wondering why people are coming out of school not knowing how to read and write, and then getting their fucking diplomas and shit.
Getting the crank on.
Getting the crank.
Getting the crank. So
I'm just thankful to all those that did exert their rights for democracy sausage today.
Same.
I'm proud of you guys. All right, everyone who made the effort in the pre-vote and all the rest of it. Completely proud of whatever decision that you have made, because you exercised your democracy sausage today, this day on May.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, here we go. We've got a little scout hall. This little scout hall. I can't give these numbers, I suppose. I don't know. I suppose it's up to the Australian Electoral Commission to give these numbers. Yeah, right.
Getting updates live, direct. This is a live show,
It is a live show.
We don't even take toilet breaks. Well, hardly.
No, we don't take the break. That's the only part about the toilet that doesn't happen. great. We do everything else about it. I mean, I don't think I've ever taken a dump on the Cheep, but like,
no,
I'm not aware.
I came close one day. I tell you,
maybe I have, but gone off air to do that.
In the 3 hours, I'm like, whoa, that curry's really pushing through now. So got to squeeze those cheeks because if I fart any harder, there's going to be some sharking going on. Everyone should at one stage, when they get old enough, order a coffee and then just call themselves Santa or Mrs. Santa. It's good value.
Mrs. Santa.
Mrs. Santa. That's it. Mrs. Claus. That's the other one. Santa, Mr. Santa, and Mrs. Claus.
Here we go.
Or it could be whatever their name is. They could be Mrs. Their name Claus.
Their name. You love the Claus, don't you?
Brides of Santa. Brides of Santa. That's it. Don't worry about brides of Christ. How about brides for Santa? Santa's nunnery.
Oh, wow. Demolishy. It looks like we've got 127,511. How are we going? The votes are coming in.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, we got formal votes. So, for example, in this electorate, so this is a very engaged electorate, like WB1, so it's very different.
Apparently, Brian, Queensland's going to be
a decider one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this case here, like formal is 96.96%, 3% is informal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to put that in context, just to put that in context.
That's either unmarked votes or someone's art.
But
they put a damaged vote in there. That's right.
But what it is the people who didn't show, which is another value.
Yeah. Well,
and to show
bro,
you,
like
to just show you, right?
He
like,
completely forgot.
I'm not talking shit. Like, look at this, right? In this very engaged, we're 97% effectively of full votes, right? Only 3% are informal, like donkey votes, not including people who didn't show.
Yes.
That 3% beat Michael Richmond, an independent, who only had 1.42%, and beat Pauline Hanson's party at 2.61%.
There you go.
It actually had 3.4%, 04%. So it had a higher percentage than either of them. So it was like third last, not last. It was still third last. Like, they were under the no.
Yes.
Like,
but it's percentage that they've captured, right? Each of the parties captures in the end.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is, but in this context, and here we go. If we just go first person, here we go. Firsts. First is even. Oh yeah, that's it. That's nice, bro. Oh. And you go through these different ones. Like, so hang on, you're in. Let me go to. What the? Did you say Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
It's the Greens.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Bushka.
Is that right? Watson, Elizabeth Watson Brown, the Greens, stomping that's effectively like almost an independent vote. Were you the Greens? Who was the incumbent? Oh, the Greens were. The Greens were the previous. So it's a Greens.
I thought they were going to flip it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I thought they were going to go on Big L on that one.
So the current informal vote here, and this is, I say, it's 2.68. So we got in your area, informal vote beat Pauline Hanson. Trumpet of Patriots beat them.
Yep.
Beat Jared Rennick, People First.
Yep.
Beat Fulson, Plant Rescue, Whistleblower Protection, and there was
some wicked ones on there, man. I got to tell you.
Family First.
I need Democracy Manifest Party on there soon, man. I'm going to go mental.
Like, so in your electorate, like your informal vote beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates.
Bam.
Just stopped. Sorry, not even.
Yeah, well, don't stop it. We're trying to get the peace, love, and mung beans on, mate. There's got to be another way. I don't want to get Jordan landed.
No.
But yeah, there's got to be another way.
Oh, where else is interesting? Okay, I'm listening to the MT.
CONT.
Oh, Labor Party. Oh, really? Marion Craymore.
There's quite a few more Indigenous in the votes this year. Yeah. Get a good variety of the multiculturalism.
The other things that happen in elections is what's called like swing voting, and protest voting.
That's right, because they're unhappy with the selection.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. The protest voting and stuff is also like it would be also put in its place. Like you'd get rid of it by allowing the right to say no. Oh man, is this for real?
What?
That doesn't even make sense.
Say what?
No, this must be only in New South Wales, surely.
Do tell.
It must be 20. I guess, maybe it is 23. Oh yeah, okay. So the Liberals have only got 9 seats.
Bush. Ouch.
It's being stomped. I guess this is House of Representatives. Who's leading?
Yeah, House of Reps. That's where the real democracy sausage happens.
Oh, I see. So, okay, Labor's actually got 50 seats, over 50 seats, and the Liberal Party's got 25 seats.
Well, it looks like someone's putting him last. No, I think that campaign worked, mate. Say no to potato.
Potato got potatoed, man. He's going to get the potato, all right. But it's a long way to go.
I know. He should have put the big boy pants on, man. He was given a plate of, the failures. He could have just handed it out, a Sermon on the Mount. He just backed away and wanted to hug everybody. I mean, if you're going to wear the big boot, you've got to be able to step up to the big boot,
Currently, it's in a swing of negative 1.5% to the Liberals. It's ongoing, of course. It's interesting. Yeah, it looks like the victory here has been pretty stompy. And in this seat that I'm in...
It's typical that on a cheap night, they have their fucking election. And right.
It's happened to again to us.
I know. It's uncanny. It's the fact that we do it once a week on the same day, unless otherwise stated.
Man, I don't know. So
Timing is everything, mate. That's what they say, you know. Timing's everything. It's the difference between being hit by a bus and then having your kidneys fail and then committing suicide.
That it is. It is.
Timing is everything.
Why might I do it?
So apparently we had visitors.
You did?
There was some...
what kind of visitors did you have?
A certain diplomat came to visit to talk to a third party.
Oh.
Pep talk. There was pep talk.
Apparently
some pep talk going on. And I would have thought there would have been more, you know, big balls going on, but yeah, well, there was no big balls.
No.
Just medium-sized balls, you know. And I noticed, like, even though they were all pointing out different things at different parties, right, there wasn't too much, you know, picking on people as there used to, you know, like the ads. Well, I mean, I don't watch much TV anymore at all, pretty much. Television's all, to me, that's dead media, you know. It's just like the radio was, you know, back in the day, you know, taken over by the internets, mate. The internets and what people see on the internet and their followers and, you know, whatever they're following. And I think you should do this and you should do that. Yeah. And they're just like 3 bags full.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of bags and they love filling them up.
They do.
Look, you know what I want to say?
Them balls are always got to keep bouncing, mate. That's what
I want to say?
If you're going to have balls in a bag, you're going to make sure they keep bouncing.
In the current trajectory of things, there's a little.
Yeah.
I think that, well, there's still like another 40 seats to count. So, you know.
Yeah. And there'll be like the delayed mail vote too. So
there will be.
Yeah.
I posted one of those mail votes for a client.
I think it's a lot easier for people who have issues with crowds and stuff because, you know, it does, like I said, you know, in my experiences, you know, today especially, it was getting a little bit, you know, dinner and dancing, you know.
It was a bit for you? Yeah.
I mean, I've
1,000 people
I've been to London, all right? I know what dinner and dancing's all about. I've been to London. You don't have to tell me. People touching you and bumping into you and, you know, squeeze you and jostle there. You just got to learn to deal with it, you know. Keep your important stuff high and, you know, in your fist. Because you want to get hands on everything.
Get the hands, yeah. Well, I got the hands on. Someone
you did. You got touched up. Lucky you. Well, unless it was unwarranted and not asked for.
A Liberal volunteer.
Oh, what? There was hands on at a station.
Yeah, man. A Liberal volunteer.
What the democracy sausage?
Yeah, it was the real business, man. So the dude starts his shift.
Spiel?
I guess. No, he starts his shift. So he was new. I mean, I didn't see him doing much. He was like, hey. They knew who he was, so that's fair enough. You know, that's good enough for me. And then the first thing he does, this person walks in between us, and I'm not right near him. Like I'm back a bit. Like I'm sort of more. Actually, I'm doing more exit stuff. I'm actually thanking people for that. No, I'm sort of like where I'm interacting. I'm not at the gate trying to like last minute people. Like I'm kind of thanking. I'm actually mostly.
I hate those people just shoving it in your hand and you're like, all good. Like, and they're like, what? And I'm like, no. Next time, save the trees. Have a little pad with your thing on there so I can have a look at it, and then I'll just walk on, save the trees. No, have a digital next time. Have a little thing I can look at.
I've learned and today. I didn't really ever quite understand this.
But you're not printing up all this extra shit. It just ends up in rubbish, Si. You know, all those papers they hand out, man.
No, you don't understand. No, okay, I'll get to that. This guy. So he walks past and he goes, I didn't even speak to him. I was sort of like, oh, hey, sort of thing. Yeah. And then and the guy goes, no, I know, because he sort of said, oh, I know who I'm voting for. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then the Liberal guy is like, oh, you know, and he goes, no, I know I'm voting. Oh, do you? Yes, I do. Oh, yeah. Well, what about the rest of the numbers on there? The other 5 numbers you got to do. You know. And he goes, yeah, I know what I want. Oh, that's pretty amazing that you managed to find out all that information, then, isn't it? Like,
what?
I know, but you know, you don't. And I just
calm the fuck down, have a Bex, mate. There's a stretcher.
And I said to the guy, I just go, like, not yelling or nothing, like just normal voice. Just go, hey, I don't think putting down, like, abusing your constituency is going to help you vote, mate. Like, you shouldn't do that. That's not cool.
That's going to give that, you know, the old rep's going to go start thumbing down. That's it.
And so when I tell him basically just to like, hey, like, don't do that to the constituency, his response to that is to then come over to me and
want a fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
I would have thrown down, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I did not back down.
If you want to throw them, you want to get them back. He comes up to me and he's like, throw them unless you want them back.
Don't you fucking? And I'm like, well, I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't do that. Don't, you know? He said, fuck off.
Don't be jostling. You're going to get a jostle back, mate. Yeah.
And I'm like,
don't worry.
No, I'm not fucking off anyway. I'm standing right here, mate. Like, no, you fuck off.
Well, you fuck off. That's right.
And he's told you. And then he says, no. He's like, he's bigger than me. And he goes, I said, fuck, I told you. Get the fuck off now. And he gets his fucking his whole arm with his thing, and then across my face, and bosses me, mate. Bosses me with his.
He was trying to fucking clothesline you, the cunt.
Yeah, he tried to freaking.
He was giving you a clothesline, mate. I would have just given him like a full. I wouldn't even bothered being. Oh, let's fight like gentlemen. I would have been below the belt. I would have pushed them nuts up, and they would have been ovaries.
Oh yeah, but see the thing is, I'm wearing a brand. Yeah, like I can't upend the Liberal guy.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Like even if he's hit me first, who sees that?
Sorry, you know I was just like standing there, and you know
how this shit goes.
That shit was going down. I'd be like, hey, hang on, man.
You know how this shit goes.
You clothesline me, you get new ovaries, buddy. Free sex change.
And no, what actually happens is he does that. You do that. No one saw what he did, and then you're the one that's tipping the Liberal dude.
I know. That's the way it works, bud. Yeah, if you want to be the bad guy, make sure no one else is looking when he's doing the shit.
I said to him, if he basically, I pointed out to him, no uncertain terms, if he wants to be the bad guy, then he needs to pony up with it right now.
Yeah, that's it. Get on with it. But like I said, man, the nukes, man. You know, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't
so
threaten
he does that to me, and I'm just like,
and
I just go, oh, we're getting physical, are we?
Yeah, that's it. Announce it. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
You can't slap him in the face with the glove no more.
So
You
I
got
just
to
fucking
announce
pushed
it.
him back. Wuss.
Yes.
Hey, no.
Come on, Tubbsy, let's
He's like,
go.
don't put your hands on me. And I'm like, hands?
He's announcing. He's doing the hands now.
And then I'm like, I go, well, all right. Like, so, and so then I go, and he goes,
nothing like a good jostle, I tell you, at a polling station.
He goes, oh, fucking, you better fuck off. I'm going to fucking down you. And I'm just like, and I just go, you actually have no idea. Yeah. I said,
eat your babies.
I just said, you need to fuck off, cunt, right now, right? And don't even, you get come at me, you get physical. And he's like, no, fucking, and he tries to have another go about it, like he's going to have another attempt at some verbal physical. I'll really fuck you up. And we're doing that little thing right up against each other like two dogs.
Yeah.
No, fucking cunt, I'll fucking fuck you, cunt.
The rutting season has.
But I thought, I was shaking a little, man, because it's like, but shaking with, but not with that to go away.
Good drugs, mate. They're the ones that you don't have to pay for.
That's it, just the readiness to just launch this, just destroy this fucker. So,
a bit of adrenaline, mate.
Yeah, a bit of adrenaline, man. Like, it's like, it's real. And then I said, like, and then he just couldn't, he just realized, like, I just said no. Yeah. And so he backed out. And
good.
And then, no, actually, sorry.
Sometimes you got to be the bully's bully, bud.
Sorry, I missed the whole chunk. I need to say.
Yeah.
So then he starts saying to me, like, because we're so up against each other's face, he starts going to me, actually, I forgot a whole chunk. I missed a bit. He goes, he's like, you got bad breath. And actually, I've been eating salami because I needed some food, so I just ate salami.
He sounds like he needed a meal, mate. You should have done dinner and dancing with him.
I know, he was probably worked out. And I was just like,
he was probably just cruising for some ass,
so I just breathed on him. I was like, I'm like, well, this is getting me to go away then, mate. So I'm breathing on him, right? And it's because it was so pathetic. I just don't go with it, right? And then he's like, because it's just childish shit.
So good.
So then he, like kids, right? And then he comes up, he's like, and he has another go at me in some other way. And I go,
schoolyard.
I said, sorry, I misunderstood. So then I go, sorry, I misunderstood. I said, you're a racist.
Oh, bam, the R card, mate.
You were socially
yellowed straight up.
You were racially profiling me.
Yes, he got yellowed.
You racially profiling
yellowed
me.
Him, mate.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You're a full-on racist, mate.
You are.
Now I understand.
Well, don't forget your little SWAT sticker next time you come out, your little armband.
And then he just like, racist. I'm like, yes, actually. You're fucking racist, mate. Just admit it. And
you know what? That would have been entertainment for the people around you and those standing in the line.
So the thing about these things is that actually happened all in like
a quick succession. That's
40 seconds maybe. Like
with the exchange, everyone you would have had people snickering in the lines and
the only person I think that really saw it was the Greens guy.
Okay.
And maybe a couple other people like from afar, or maybe a few liberals. But he backed off, and so I was like, and he goes, and he tried a little bit more grumbles, and I just stood my ground. And he went away and just went around the corner, and then he came back. He tried to come back and have another go a little bit later, and my booth manager was there. I was like, I just straight away like, oh, this guy assaulted me before. He's like, you did? I'm like, yeah. He finally come up to me like this, and he freaking hit me twice.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fuck off, mate. And I said, see what I'm saying? Like, he is just aggro. He's just got a freaking problem. And like, is this real? Give a fucking. And he just went and sat down in a chair for the rest of the time.
Yeah. Realised his defeat.
Yeah. No, it was out of line.
Hey, look, man.
I
that is out of line.
I think he was very scared. I think that
some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. So
they do, but also imagine. It's hard to imagine because it's not really our reality. But we're good at imagining. So you've lived in somewhere for like 60 years.
Yeah.
Since you were born, 60 years, right? And in the 60 years that you've been there, right?
Have you gone on holidays? If it's going to be hypothetical, or you've just been in that place the whole 60?
Oh, you're the kind of. It's like you've had the affluence to go on holidays, my friend.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Getting a better picture. Yeah.
So, and for these 60 years, 56 of them, basically, 57 of them, have been liberal.
Okay. So you've been a solid, like your parents, did it that way, and you do it that way too. You've been a solid, And
probably before that, at least your whole life. And then all of a sudden, and like Labor doesn't even bother even turning up. Like, you've been coming along to these polling stations for like 10 elections, just being like and it's like, oh, hey, Francis, and hey, are you coming to vote Liberal again? Of course we're coming to vote Liberal again. That's how it's been, right? And then like someone comes in and goes over to the Labor thing, oh, you got no hope, why are you even here? You know what I mean? A little joke, right? And so while you're having a little piss, like on them, like just doing a little peeing on the other people. And I guess, and then what happens after all those years of that,
You are better than them, you know.
Along comes an independent that's kind of a bit liberal anyway, you know, is not like anti-business or anything like that, you know, but is also like environmental and, you know, other things.
Progressive, that's right.
A progressive liberal, effectively. And the result of that is that you lose, you lose. The first time you're like laughing at
Well, you
these
ain't
people.
telling the line.
Well, the first time that you just, you know, there were these people there and you're all like, oh, as if. Well, then you're like, oh. And so now you brought out a woman because you thought, oh, okay, we better get a woman too then. Right? And then the result of that was, you know, suddenly they seemed even stronger. Now they were right there in like, there was like even more of them, you know, and they're like, and they're not Labor. The problem is you're talking to the person across the thing and they like the same football team as you and they're the sort of thing and they're talking about business as well.
Yep. They you know, they like their holidays in the Bahamas.
They also understand that immigration can't go on because,
right.
like, you know, we don't have enough housing or they don't seem opposed to the things that you're sort of saying, but they're not also assholes about it. You know what I mean?
No, that's right.
But they understand it.
People like
and so
everybody
like,
else.
it's confusing to them. Like, you know, and
what are they arguing about, truthfully? Yeah.
No, we should be cooperating. We should be cooperating. Like, you know, like they should be going in there and they should actually, you know, like the idea of men, instead of opposing, holding to account.
Yes.
I think actually holding to account. Like, hang on, is that really the best you can do, you know, to the party that's in it? Well, we think so.
Reminding
of
no,
let's do it better. Let's do it better. Okay.
You said you were going to do that last time. You never did it.
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
Was it just a lie or are you going to keep that promise?
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, what's the reasoning? The thing is, it's like, well,
if you can't do it, then just tell us why.
Well, and also,
at least, you know, at least say, hey, listen, if I do it, this other party's going to put a hole in me, in some part of my body where I probably won't be breathing tomorrow, so we're not doing it, right? So we're not doing it that way. And then people will probably just go, hey, man, if they're going to put a hole in you, fair enough, you don't have to do that, right? You just leave that. We'll get to that later, when they don't want to put holes in people. Because ultimately, that's what you want to do. Like, the true success to life extension is not to piss too many people off, right?
That is it. I mean, I am aware.
That is the secret to success. It's just don't piss enough people off where they're all going to try and murder you. You know.
I did unfortunately piss this guy today. I mean, I don't think he'll murder me. But
look, he'll get over it, Si. He probably needed it. It was
probably
he'll probably go home upset. His wife's going to probably give him some great sex tonight, or his boyfriend, or whoever he's chosen as his, you know, compatible partner, right? And he'll be over it tomorrow. He'll be a little grumpy, but he'll go, you know, fuck, man, I met someone who stood up for himself. Any other person would have just cowered and just backed off because of my, you know, my ability of what I think I've got authority, and then someone's just giving it back to me.
Don't think just because
I've got to realise that now.
Wing...
Like, I've learned a lesson. That
I'm not freaking tough.
You better throw down if you're going to throw down. Else get back what you give.
Exactly.
Them stems is the way it works.
Yeah, because like, oh mate, he was like, honestly, yeah, don't throw down around.
No.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. What are we even doing?
Silly. Well, you're arguing with yourself.
What would the grandmas even think about it? Ooh.
Yeah,
ooh.
Grandma would be rolling over. Like, if she was 6 feet under, she'd be rolling over going, oh, what the fuck? Here's my ass. You should have buried me face down so I don't have to look at this shit. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Independents now 6, Nationals 6, Liberals 4. Wow. This is New South Wales, I guess. Is that right? 26. The National is the National.
I'm not even looking at stats. I just went straight to Sportsbet and I knew. They had the lowest odds. They were going to be the winner.
It's a 3.5% swing. What this is about, though, what I want to say, and kind of leading up to this, for me at least, it was, I asked myself a question. It was, how far along the road, or how to 2030's plan is Australia? How much distance do we really?
We're not fucking close to what we're supposed to be up to.
No, but
I've known that for a while. Like, there was things that we should have done, like, a long time ago.
But
optic fibre was one of them. That's what fucking held us back as a country.
Yeah, but
there wasn't enough permeation.
In terms
optics.
of sustainability and things, like I don't think it would be unreasonable to assume on a global level that a country like Australia would suddenly start producing its own microprocessors. You know, like that's just probably a bit.
That's not to say China can't set up factories to do it.
Yeah, well, but China surely will.
Closer
but we also probably don't need to.
And then that then cuts the tariff because it comes out of Australia, made in Australia, doesn't it?
Yeah, we won't. Yeah, it'll just come from China.
We'll build the risks for you, China. You just call us.
But so we don't. Yeah, I think basically coming into this election, if we needed to be accelerated, you know, if we needed like radicalization to get us there, then they would have got in.
Yeah, well, true.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
and we didn't, thankfully.
No. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, Si.
It is.
When it comes to taking the bites out of the cookie, then you're only going to get so many bites if you don't get the votes, aren't you?
Oh, wow. I'm learning.
Cookie Monster breakdown.
People
want to see change. They don't want to see empty promises, undelivered.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even, man. Like, I wish it was that high level. I wish that there was really.
It'd be nice if it was that simple. You know what I mean?
Like that's what it was really about. Like how the numbers came about.
I agree, Si. All right. I'm not going to get any argument out of me over that particular topic.
That would be amazing. Like,
That would be true utopia, mate.
We would be. Look, there's this market looks like.
What is this? What is this? They're listening to the people. What the fuck? What happened? Well, this country started listening to their people and all of a sudden it was utopia.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone got what they wanted. Everybody was happy. Nobody argued. They were dancing in the streets, growing their own vegetables, fresh, you know, harvesting their own eggs, not paying $12 for them. only having what they need, no excess. All the poop going back into the planet, revitalising the soil. Oh no, the old ways win. Old with the new. Yeah, that's it. Combinations, mate. That's what the mix-up's about. The blendinings.
The blendinings.
The blendinings. Making it work, you know. It's got to be spicy. Life has to be a spiced variety, doesn't it?
Does it?
Doesn't
No.
always have to be evil.
Oh.
No, it doesn't always have to be evil. It can be good, you know, just as much as it can be evil.
Here
And
we
a lot
go.
of it depends on perspective, right?
So nationally, you know what? I was going to looking at. So here's some stats.
Yeah, breaking it down. Election 2025.
So nationally, the Australian Labor Party has got 75. Sorry.
Yep.
The Liberals have got 9.
Ouch.
The Liberal National Party of Queensland has got 13. The Nationals have got 9.
Yeah.
Like they got 31 so far. But it's interesting that Queensland, the Nationals have got 21 or 22 out of it. The Liberal Party is only 9 seats nationally.
Yeah.
2 in South Australia, 3 in Victoria, 4 in Queens, 4 in New South Wales. The Liberal Party is basically gone.
Yeah.
When we were young, like it was a thing, but it's
Well,
not
that's why they
it's nothing.
joined together up in Queensland.
Yeah.
When they found the Lib Nats. Yeah, because if they hadn't combined together, they would have both just disappeared. Yeah.
The Greens 3, Centre Alliance 1, Katter Party 1, Independents 10.
10 independents. Fuck yes. That number's going up. Yeah.
We're not even
You
there
know what
yet.
independent to me is? Independent is none of the above.
Yeah, it is.
It's taken the place of none of the above side.
Yeah, I know. Basically, and you can sort of see that
Through its own reasoning, like you said, because of the law, it ended up having to be that. Because I couldn't give a fuck about anybody else on the list, so I'm going to pick someone I don't even know, independent, bam. Someone who's not affiliated to anyone, so they'll get their own seat. Dunk. Yeah, that's my none of the above. I'll take that option.
taken. I was taken by it.
Independent seem far more attractive than the other two party system.
Well, so it's 8:30, and pretty much, I reckon, like, I'd say by 9 o'clock they'll call it. I mean, I'm surprised they're not calling it now.
Yeah.
There's 25 more to go.
Like once
There's
you get past a certain point, like there's no other, there isn't enough seats left. You know, it's like counting cards at a poker table, right? Yeah. Once you get towards the end of the decks, there's only going to be those cards left, aren't there?
Like, it's actually ridiculous.
And what you've won out of those, that's four packets in the shuffle is already, that's probably the max you're going to win out of it. There'll be, something lucky if it hasn't come up
Potentially.
already.
I'm not saying this is a bit this isn't quite realistic, but it might be like 100. It could be ridiculous.
Yeah. Just a walkover.
Yep, demolished. Well, that's it. We're saved. And I don't mean from the Liberals. I mean from the need to have to go hardcore to 2030. We can continue. We're tracking all right.
It'll get done.
It'll get done.
It'll get done.
But I think we should also expect that Labor will also still oversee a lot of loss.
They're going to do their cash grab.
But a lot of loss too.
The flick. Yeah.
Like there'll be the next 4 years, like are going to be what it's going to have to deal with is it's going to be emotional. And like
there'll be tears.
$12
I'm really
$12
sorry.
eggs.
Everybody hand out the
did I-
fucking. Well, government should send Kleenex to everybody.
Did we not say how that?
Yeah, a little satchel.
If you want to get
12
eggs, you can always get eggs if you're willing to pay $12. Did we not say that a year ago?
Yeah, we did. We did. Back when they were $5 a pack. Yeah. You're going to double. That's right. Double in price.
You always get eggs at 12, and here they are, $12 eggs.
Dunk. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Consumption was down. Dunk. Happy.
Yeah, you can see like the
Government's thinking about your health. Government's thinking about your health.
Too many eggs.
We don't want to get medieval about it.
Well,
Too many are overweight, that's right.
The eggs are just a perfect example.
I got told I was fat. I've got to think about my weight.
So the eggs, in particular in Australia, we overconsume eggs.
We do.
And so we are being adjusted.
nation.
We are being adjusted to eat
what
the appropriate.
it should be.
The
appropriately
amount of
That's
eggs
right.
that we're allowed as a people.
Yeah. They'd be greedy now.
Yeah.
Okay?
You get the
Getting a
eggs
bit
that are
too
given to
greedy,
you.
Australia.
Yeah.
As the
We've got to limit who's allowed
51st
eggs.
state of America, you need to calm the fuck down, okay?
Yeah, your whole egg attitude.
Yeah.
is being
Egg
just-
attitude will not be tolerated.
No, it won't be.
You can have all the democracy sausages you want, but you're going to have to calm the hell down on those eggs, okay? Yeah. Shredded tyre nightmare sign.
Really?
Yeah. Gosford, 30 kilometres worth of highway. Turned to a shredding centre, a tyre shredding centre. Yeah, that's it.
That's a bit of a hell of a laugh.
It was crazy shit, man. Like, I feel sorry for the poor bugger. Like, he's probably done that run 1,000 times with the same load.
Yeah.
And then this time around, for some fucking reason, shit just started coming out the back of it. All right? And it was at that some sort of level where it was unnoticed.
It's amazing, hey? Just drizzling. Just drizzling.
Drizzling metal particle and filings and razor sharp, cut-offs across the roadways.
And it did like
I spoke to a couple of people about it today, and they're like, even they were like, no, we don't have magnets. I said, no, there's no such technology with magnets that could pick that shit up. You have to rip the whole road up and relay it.
No, I think they were using magnets. I think they were. Yeah.
Hell, that's pretty quick as a response. That's crazy quick.
Well, I don't think...
Yeah, sure, it wasn't an exercise. We're not just having an exercise of how to disable the roadways. You know,
look, we have had them before. It's not like they haven't happened.
You know, when you pre-war something, you've got to have a little bit of practice, right?
Yeah, you do. What happens if that was inaccessible?
Just in case they decide to use the roadways as their way through, you know. We Aussie bushmen don't need no roads. We are the bush. We just walk into a tree and then we appear in another tree 1,000 miles away. That's the power of the tree walking.
There's a number of Indigenous stories that talk about such abilities. Going into a special side of a mountain.
Well, they were druids, man. They were druids. By the
not in a special way.
The first Masons, when they turned up, they did the handshake and everything, and like, these guys are already into it. Yep, 20,000 years before you cunts.
You got to wonder. I mean, I know like down in Nimbin area and stuff, it across into sort of near Yukai, there's all these lava tunnels. And even to the point where the postal service, like, even talked to the Indigmob originally, and it said that, like, because cattle used to get lost occasionally in there, that farmers and that blew up the tunnels.
So they couldn't walk into them. Yeah. But they were like, they were hieroglyphics and shit in there, supposedly.
Well, but that'd be across Australia, I suspect. It was like where these people would disappear.
It was a tunneling networks, man. Lava, the great tunnel maker.
It's not talked about much in Australia, how much that is around, like these like underground, and a lot of them have been concealed or...
Well, you know, the ancient stories, they said they come up out of the ground after the last great cataclysm, hid down there, you know, special networks.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd make sense.
Everything provided. People from under the ground, civilizations that still exist, survived the great cataclysms, still living multiple levels below the ground. Not chud. They don't eat people. They're actually quite refined. They don't need to eat people.
Yep.
Just here for scientific purposes. Yeah. A study, you know, galactic studies going on. They say cash is king, but science is king, you know, out there. Science is always king.
Oh, science is
in the universe, yeah.
And a particular
magic or whatever, you know, it's a blending.
It's not just science either. It's like particular agreements on which thing of science is acceptable science, you know, like I'm not even talking about pseudosciences really. It's just like you just don't question certain things.
No. Well, it's hard. There's a reason Mother Nature has muddy feet, you know.
Oh, okay, that's an interesting statement.
Yeah, she's the most grounded amongst us.
Mother Nature has muddy feet.
Because they're well grounded, mate. You know me, I love mud. Mud's my friend.
Oh yeah, well
I could make a model out of that.
Being covered in clay.
Going all predator mode, you know. When you have to hide and you need to look cold, then you got to blend in with the other cold things around you, so you can't thermograph you, mate. Got to love a bit of the mud. Know how to get dirty. Oi. Wet cat.
Oh, hang on, a little bit. Oh,
we've had some rain up here, on and off, sprinklings.
Yeah. Oh, we were lucky today. There was no rain. It was fucking. I was a bit concerned.
It wasn't raining during the day.
I wasn't going to be able to.
Up in Kingsland, we
had the races.
Sprinkles, heavenly sprinkles.
Beautiful sun all day. That's what we had. It was wonderful. Glorious. I was able to stand in the sun, stay warm, not end up unwell or something weird.
Yeah, I had to go and sort some stuff out at Versatile Hotel, so yeah, I got caught in the rain on the way back. Yeah, it was nice. I don't mind a little bit of a shower. Skids tonight. That's the way it works.
What, in a vehicle? You mean? Like not?
No, not me. I don't do skids, but yeah, those who do skids on a Logan-y basis, you know, Logan Bogan's Donuts on the Moon, 2050. That's what I'm aiming for. You know, local Logans, you know, becoming astronauts like the Jeff's crew, the all-girl crew, like becoming astronauts and then going to the moon and doing donuts by 2050. Want to see it.
Well, it's interesting that I don't know what it means, but I mean I know what it does. Hang on, let me just
we all know what it means. Come on.
But what I mean by I don't know what it means is
it's part of the nothing. We love the nothing.
Say Richard Branson, for example.
Ultimate
entropy. Like Virgin Galactic.
Richard, yeah.
So how do they look at this? So you send up some rich people into space because they can afford it. At one point, the idea of that was that when they first started making the things, Spaceship 1 and 2 and Blue Origin and stuff.
It was to garner sponsors.
Yeah. But now it's seen as like outrageous.
Space road.
And what I mean is, like, will the Katy Perry, is Katy Perry going to have a chilling effect?
We're going to have, what's going to happen, Si, is we're going to have a Streisand effect on the Katy Perry astronaut. That's what's going to happen. We're all going to be astronauts. A Streisand effect will happen, and then we're going to all be astronauts. We're suddenly going to discover that we're from another planet.
And they'll save us.
Yeah. As universal brothers and sisters, we'll all come together. We'll have a little barbecue, because the gods love a barbecue. Everyone's happy when there's a barbecue.
Or the burning of the meat.
Oh, if it's not, like if it ain't, that's what I got this morning. Like I got to work, and we were praising the gods. The barbecue was going, the bacon, the sausages, you know, all the stuff, mate. Everything you need for an early breakfast of the gods. the true workers, you know, those who are willing to work on Friday part 1, 2, and 3, you know, when you have to bend the rules a little.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you say Friday part 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, because if you work on the Sun's Day, you're not supposed to be working on the Sun's Day. We put another addition into the Space Lawyers contract, and that is you can call it Friday part 3. Yeah, and that avoids, and what happens is there is no Saturn's Day and Sun's Day.
No.
There's just the 3 Fridays. And then you get time in lieu. Time in lieu. Yeah, yeah.
You'd have to ask for that though, wouldn't you?
No, time in lieu is, well, you just say you want it and then you get it.
But you'd have to ask for
it.
it.
You got to ask. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
It mightn't be on Monday, for example.
No, you wouldn't do it Monday. They wouldn't let you have it Monday. It's just like you wouldn't have the Great Tribulation on no other day but Friday, right? Especially if there's going to be a long weekend. The Great Tribulation's that Friday, right? Because if you want maximum, you know, misery, then the 3 days lost. You know, okay, so it's going to be hell tomorrow, or well, fuck, it's hell today. Yeah, you know, you want it's max suffering. Okay, that's why you don't get Monday off. All right, and hell be paid if you take a Wednesday. Woden won't tolerate a day off on his day. You get paid that day, so you better fucking work on a Wednesday.
Woden,
yeah, Woden's going to be up in your ass, mate.
But
yeah, he will.
Are we questioning Woden though?
No, of course not.
I wouldn't question Woden.
Who's going to question the All Father? Shit, man. You got big
mad.
balls, so you want to do that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. He says dig. You say how deep. That's the way it works. Yeah.
Friday part 3.
Yeah. We've got authority from above and below to drop that in. If you're having difficulty working on those additional days where it should be sacred, then we just drop the Friday part 2, part 3. Legal contract still satisfied. You didn't work on those sacred days because they're extended Fridays.
Friday,
yeah.
The Friday that kept on giving.
The Fridays. That's it. And it's in 3, so it works with the 3-in-1 contract. You know what I mean? Like it's all good. Everyone's happy. Sin free. That's what we want ultimately.
Yeah,
there should be no sin. I mean, even though sin was just wearing shoes and clothing, just cut it out. Come on, for fuck's sake.
It's approved days.
Yeah, that's it.
Had to.
We know it's all about the angles. You know, that's what numbers were always about. They were about the angles, mate. Everybody knows that. Exactly. Spaceship 101. Come on, people. You want to get out there in the universe, you got to learn how to be a fucking spaceship.
Interesting.
Just had to drop that one, you know, considering it's election. Well, you know, it's a finish of the election now, basically. So
I guess let's have a look. See what we're up to.
Nothing but counting to do.
No, it's the goal. We hit the slow bit. We hit the mystery zone. Well, you know.
Yeah, the in-betweenies. The 1.5 hour mark. That's the one. It's like, should we diverge to the next topic, or should we, you know, milk a little bit more of the election masturbation?
Here are the ones that are currently not attributed. Let's see if we know some of them. Bendigo, Bean, Bendigo Brand, Brisbane.
Yeah, always hot seats. Yeah.
Bullwinkle, Brisbane.
Bullwinkle.
Okay. Bert, Cohen, Curtin, Durack, is that right?
If Creamy Thighs comes up, then I'm going to be suspicious.
Farmer, Forest, Franklin, Fremantle, Griffith, Hasluck, Macamara, Monash, Moore, Newcastle, O'Connor, Pearce, Perth, Richmond, Swan, Tangany. What's old mate's seat?
Who? Potates.
Yeah, Potates.
I think he was, he's an Allside man. Over
Dixon?
where old Bloodbath used to live, something like that.
Was he from
in
Dixon?
around that area? Yeah, Dixon, I think, yeah. Dick, son.
He's lost his seat.
Bam. See you later, alligator.
He's fucking gone, mate.
He's up in the nosebleeds, cunt. Yeah, there you go. Should have had more testicular fortitude and drop the bombs, and you probably would have just made a landslide, done a Trump stuff, you know. Funny how that works out, isn't it? You know.
There's a lot of particles.
Oh man, you get handed shit, you just like fucking give it to him. And
He's
you're
lost his seat. I wonder what if there's any comment.
He'll be making a statement. Don't worry.
Making a statement.
We'll hear it. We'll hear it on the news. Blast it on the radio or whatever the fuck.
Like how he'll be back. Is he gonna return? Like, and do you think, like you're saying, like do a Trump? Is that going to be his little goal? He'll all realise you need me in another 4 years.
Right. All he's got now is book and bitter. Okay, shut the fuck up. Book, bitter.
Agreed.
That's how it works, bud. You get your chance. You don't grab the mic. You waffle and you shuffle about. You get nothing. You grow them solid brassies, and then you step up, and then you do it, and then you get it. Elsewise, you don't do business.
Nicely said.
That's it.
Wow.
Honesty, mate. They want to hear that shit. They don't need fluff and kerfuffle. They want to hear honest fucking truth, and that's the truth, bud. You ain't got the balls, you won't get the business. Pure and simple.
Interesting. So, wow. I'm
trying to think of something else that popped up that was repeated in the news.
I'm trying to think of anything in my
life. It seems
life.
like that's the meme or whatever's repeated. I think the trial for the death cap lady, the death cap risotto.
Oh yeah.
That lady, she's come up. Just another warning to the community out there. The gold tops are not edible. All right. They're extremely poisonous. If you're on a psilocybin journey, don't eat the gold tops. They'll fucking kill you. Yeah. The blue mushrooms, in moderation, you'll talk to God. Get a direct line to his eminence or eminence or, you know, omnipresent, omnipotence. You're welcome. Only for those who have no fear. Have fear, experience that mushroom, and then you will get fear amplified. Have no fear, go in there, eyes open, enjoy. The closest thing you'll get to another dimension. There you go. Without leaving this one. Well, you do mentally, but you don't physically. Yeah. Monkey only gets smarter with mushroom.
Monkey, I think.
Monkey still throwing poo at each other if it was the mushroom.
Probably was the mushroom. We've started to come to that realization.
You want to massage a monkey's mind? Give it mushrooms. Even the snake worked it out, man. You see that snake on the old Santa's mushies? Like had his feel and he was just like fully seeing his own snake god, man. I tell you, talk about coming to your own super realization as a snake. Imagine that as you, which you've already done, of course. You know, we've all done many animals. In the realizations, hey, seeing thyself in those eyes, in thy individual eyes, the true awakening. You know, it's the reason why we did Stacks on Light, mate. Dirt couldn't talk to itself unless there was Stacks on Light. To put it as simple as possible, we wouldn't have experience and we wouldn't share all experiences, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Stacks on Light. Thank goodness for Stacks on Light.
That's interesting.
Yeah, thankful every day that we decided to do a bit of compression.
Wow. This is me after being up since 4:45 in the morning.
I know. I'm just putting ideas in your head, and you're like half asleep, and it's just
so hard. It's great.
No, I know, but it's going to give you hella dreams, man.
I haven't actually fallen asleep though.
You'll be tripping on our cheapens tonight. I've taken it real easy. Like yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I had a big day myself, so I thought I'm not going to hit the boost too hard this time.
Where's the national results again?
But yes, democracy manifest, democracy sausage on bread. Everybody loves it. It is the king of democracy, the democracy sausage.
Well, one thing I would say is you'd feel pretty marginalised as a sort of traditionalist in Australia.
Should it be the democracy pie?
Like with different kinds of berries and stuff.
The sweet pie, sweet democracy pie, like, you know, Stanthorpe apples and, you know, pick Australian products and just make a democracy pie, Australian version. You know, Mum's special baking edition. Mum's Bake Off. We get all the mums in the neighbourhood to have a democracy bake off of who does the best pie. Brought to you by such and such party. It could be a big winner. There'd be a lot of happy tummies that day. Like, you know, how happy would your tummy be if you got to try all the different pies? I'd be extra happy. I'd probably have to diet for like about 6 weeks afterwards, but, you know, it'd be worth it. Voting would be worth it. Democracy pie. Talking about Mum, let's talk about Grandma and her behaviour. That thing you said to me, Si, with Grandma and her list of prices. Like I was a little bit of, well, not offended, but I was just like, you know, you want to get into an experience, you know, you don't want there to be consequences for it, you know, it could be a good solution, you know, well experienced, you know, player helping, you know, someone, you know, who's new to the whole subject, you know, could be, you know, kill two birds with one stone, you know, the whole, you know, loving the mother's mother and the whole, you know, needing to satisfy, all done in one hit. Zero consequence, of course, you know. Men on pause, using codes now, trying to confuse the AI. Like, it's got to listen to what we're saying. So I do. Sometimes I'll just wordplay with it. It's like the AI and I are having a little affair. You know, Google and I. It's just like we got this little affair going on. It's like me, and gooey Google. We got a thing going on.
Wow.
Yeah, playing tricks, man, on each other, on purpose, you know. That's what it's all about. Gmail hacked. Again, warnings given out by Gmail globally. 2-tier authentication required. Elsewise, trouble-insky. And that 2-tier just means you've got to have a phone where they can either text you or, you know, you install the app and then they can send you the code via the app. But yes, large passwords are essential in a modern society, aren't they, Si?
They are, I mean...
And a decent storage system for them so that you don't have to remember them all, you know. Either a nice deployment system of the password, which has the storage built into it, or some way of keeping the passwords locked away in a file or a file format, which, you know, would take some time to unlock. I know you don't play that way. You do like whole phrases and sentencing stuff for passwording. So I know Si's pretty safe, but I know a lot of people out there still use those very basic passwords like password.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? So like even in this modern age, and some people choose not to have any password.
I mean, I let them.
Which I sort of get if you want to be an open kind of person, but if you want to have some sort of privacy, then a password is probably essential. Purposely made more complicated due to risk factors.
That's the thing. Well, it's a strategy actually to make things more complicated.
Yeah, make it extra complicated. If there's not at least 2 to 3 steps, what the hell are you doing? For maximum loosh, anger loosh, dissatisfaction, frustration, harvesting, at least 3 tiers of some sort of security is required for maximum protection, aka maximum frustration.
Maximum frustration.
Gone are those days where a good old signature gets you anywhere, eh? Because you better have ID. Papers, please. Becoming more and more a necessity of modern life. Best not be undocumented, else be very grateful about not being reported. Hey, what do you reckon? Best do your job well. We sort of started on that last cheat, like it might have been before, the cheat before the whole, changing the name of it. Like it's not undocumented. It's got to be like it just sounds too dirty. Undocumented worker. It sounds too dirty. How about like I'm trying to get my think on and my imagine on right side, and it'd be something like trainee citizen. There you go. It's pretty basic. It's a starter title, right? It could be adjusted. It could be prettied up. But trainee citizen. Under the course to understanding what is required. Can opt out, but will be sent back to original country. Harsh realities for some. It's pretty disgusting, like if you think about it. But, again, there's all the things here, bud. We looked into, how far a person could go in mutilating themselves back in the 90s, and had our moments of silence to ponder it. And, 35 years later, 30-something years later, governments now pay for the surgery, so you don't have to do it yourself. Hey? If you want to change into something, then you can have the option to do that. Transform into whatever you want. Whereas back then, you had to self-mutilate to get what you wanted, Come a long way as a society. What do you reckon? People having to self-perform their own surgery to get desired result versus, support and, people going, yeah, all right, if you want to do that, you do that, you can now get it done. It is possible. Choose that path.
Yeah, I mean, in that kind of thing, I noticed that along the path today, there would be this one-upmanship. It's like, how far out along the path could you go? Like, how far away from the polling booth was there a person?
All day or just the line?
No, like, as you were approaching to vote.
Spacing between each other.
When did you first interact with somebody like going, oh, have you thought about who you voted? Like, was that?
Oh, okay. From the very gates of walking in, like it's very, they've got like this whole V-shaped approach where, I drove in, park as you're walking into where the line is. They're all basically at the gates as you walk down one way or the other. So depending on how you walk in, unless you were to come in an absolute 45 degrees to where they are on both sides, and then just go straight to the line, then you get the ones at the very front, which are in the, the single file tunnel.
200 meters away? I don't know.
No. For me, it's like once you park and walk in, like it's.
Do you think that there would be people out there greeting you like in the car? 200 meters away?
No.
It felt like that today.
No. They were. It was more like as I was like within about 5 to 10 meters from the entryway, and they were like a funnel on both sides. So like you either went one way and got this people, and from that particular parties, or you went the other walkway, and then you got all those people, and then sort of like you got the two little at the front, like those little people who got the first place, right next to where the line is, either side of the line. Like I guess that would have been a camping there overnight sort of scenario, like waiting for the latest Apple Watch.
Yeah. Oh, very, very, very.
The prestigious position, at the very front of the line, which is the entry to the polling booth. That's right.
Yeah, you get the first turn.
The house is really good because it changed the whole thing. So you go in, you grab you line up in the lines, because that's what was there today. There was actually 5 lines of and then people waiting out in the sun trying to issue in, keeping out of the sun. And then grab your papers, do your scrolls and your little, green paper, whack them in the boxes, green in the one box and white in the other. And then you went out the other side and then back around and then back out to the car park past Democracy Sausage. So it was well planned. It was well planned, I've got to say that. Yeah.
Democracy Sausage.
I just didn't have time to grab the Democracy Sausage today.
No.
So I
just think it was interesting. Like we start from where we were. Okay, I'll actually bring up a map of myself and I'll just tell you. Because I was surprised. It seemed to me. I'll go from there to there.
And there's people hitting you up all the way in trying to give you stuff.
Yeah, it was like from
crazy, man. Like that is far wider spread. That's almost like scattergun approach.
Oh yeah, we were. People were
No, the way they set up ours is basically if you go through that tunnel, then you got to go past them. There's no avoiding them.
Yeah.
There is no, because you get funneled into the entry by both sides. No, it's a good setup. Can't help but going past. And if it shows your loyalties, because people would look at the colours, right, and the names, and then they would go to that path so that they could get the little piece of paper. Like it's so well planned out, man. They get to how to do it and make it easier, because everyone wants it easier, because it's easier if they do it for you.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah. That is the easiest part. If you don't want to make any decisions, is let them do it for you, and they'll help. I mean,
yeah, they will.
They know what you want, because they're going to tell you what you want.
Because that's what helps them.
That's what makes it easier, is you don't have to want it, because we know what you want, and that's what we tell you you're going to want. Yeah.
And then you'll come back for it next time.
That's right, because you love it. That's what makes you stick to us for so long. 60 years, but That's a long time to be with one party. You at least want to do your research, wouldn't you? Or again, no, it's just easier. I'm sorry. I said the nasty word, which is research, or look into what you're more aligned to. Is that probably a better way of putting it?
I guess research.
Research just sounds like you're instantly going to go off in a conspiracy theory.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Dinosaur fucking handbags, mate.
Wow.
Does that sound like a conspiracy to you? Dinosaur handbags?
Oh, I wish I had a pun. I wish I had a really bad pun for it right now.
Yeah, but you don't, because I gave you evidence.
No, but
I supplied receipts.
You did.
That's why
just
you're a little
like
bit unhappy about the whole receipt part. Yeah. But I want one. I want a fucking pair of dinosaur boots. I want to wear boots,
accessible.
mate. Yeah. A nice pair of stompers made out of dinosaur leather. Dinosaur stompers. Dinosaur feet. I want it in the shape with claws and everything, so I can stomp around like those big feet in Hollywood, but actually have real dinosaur skin feet.
Dinosaur skin.
Yeah. With my raptor bucket of feet.
Chicken feet.
Chicken KFC or KFR. Kentucky Fried Raptor.
The Raptors are back.
Yeah, of course.
Now what are we doing, replacing our
I'm
feet?
hungry. Like ever since that episode, I've had this hunger inside. I've been spreading. People asking for brontosaurus fucking ribs, mate. Guys at work are saying, "Can we get brontosaurus ribs?" And I'm like, "Well, let me talk to the team. See what we can do." All right. The first to eat dinosaur meat in 60,000 years. Would that be like the ultimate challenge? Biogenetically engineered dinosaur meat from original 60,000-year-old DNA. It'd be almost as good as the real thing, wouldn't it? I mean, you could defrost one. Just go to a glacier and dig one out. But wouldn't it be so much more effective if you just grow it, get that bit, and just grow some from it? Maybe even make a couple of dinosaurs. Throw it in an egg, get them back, harvest them. Farm them well in modern day dinosaur farming. See it now, man. I want a big egg. Like if I have to pay $250 for an egg, I want it to be dinosaur size, mate. Okay, I won't take anything less than a dinosaur sized egg if I'm going to pay $250 for one egg. It better be a big one. There's things that we've got to aim for, Si. If you want cake for the family or the neighbourhood, then you're going to have one dinosaur-sized egg. They're just big chickens, right? Si. Eh?
Oh, man.
Yeah, the crazy webs we weave. It is. It's part of the crazy webs we weave.
It's freaking wild.
Yeah, we're not rock spiders.
Oh, fuck no. I can't even.
Not at all. All right. We weave tales of strangeness, and hopefully people can keep up. That's the way we like it.
All right, maybe. Yeah, that's not possible. Stupid systems.
They're cheapenings. I'm trying to think of what else we discussed during the week.
Oh, I can't even pay. I'm not even sure. I'm trying to rethink. Like, hang on. Let me think up something.
It can't be just all about the election. I mean, it can be, but
well, it hasn't
it's
been.
best we throw in a few little nibbles and was it the nibbles, bites, and bits, mate? We've got to get them, memorable moments. Yeah.
I mean, you could. Well, hang on. Wow. Well, I have got some things that I'm not liberty to talk about that are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose let me talk about
cheap, like the offline cheap.
Oh, you already know about some of it anyway. But look, I guess. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It's just selection based. But you asked earlier, and I forgot. The how to vote card. Like when you go up to them and they're trying to shove the paper in your face.
Yes.
Telling you how to vote. Like
I normally say I know how to vote. Thank you.
So what I figured out today, from observing the Liberals, was they took, if required.
Obviously, them taking swings at you. Other than them taking swings at you.
Yeah. But they okay. The reason why those pieces of paper have become so popular and are handed out in drove and then thrown in a bin.
Yes.
Is because if you're a Liberal supporter, for example, then in your area, you don't have to think. Your people have worked out the correct order for you to mark it in to maximize.
Which will maximize the value for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And so you gleefully take that thing.
You do.
Because you need to know how to mark it.
Would you be kissing them? Would you be, when they were handing over, trying to kiss them and stuff?
They actually are.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Shaking. Crying with happiness.
They actually are.
That they don't have to think about it. Wow. Wow.
Very gratifying. You're like, oh.
That feels almost, just in that statement, I feel satisfied. Like a heavy load has been taken off my back of thinking and having to use my grey material, right? And all I need to do now is go in there, grab my little pencil and copy exactly what's on that, and then everything could be fine. I'll be the good person that did the thing that I was told to do in the way that the people I like do it.
You do it.
How much?
Way.
Like I don't feel like I have any load on me at all.
No.
Like I feel guilt free.
Huh.
No, I sort of do. So like I feel guilt free by not having to have my own thought process.
You would. I mean, you can see how it ease things.
Like it is. It's like, why did I even have to think about, even if I had to, like, why, if I didn't grab that, I would be so confused in there because I wouldn't know what to tick or to cross or to put my little squiggly thing on there, even though I'm supposed to put a number. But I'm glad they gave it to me because now I remember I got to put numbers in there than little smiley faces or unhappy faces. I'm glad that I know and remember. Shit, I was just going to draw all these little varying from very, very sad to extremely happy, and they probably wouldn't have worked it out. And I'm glad that when I grabbed the one that I like and that I like that color, that now I can put the numbers, because I wouldn't have put the numbers. I would have maybe done a, what was that? Not informal, but I would have done the damaged. I would have damaged the vote because I didn't put it in the right format. I was using hieroglyphics, which is modern day emojis. I was speaking in modern language when I should have been speaking in the numbers. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
You would have appreciated that more.
Yeah. They need the numbers. They don't need that. I'm happy about this person and I'm very not happy about that one. But if you think about it, that's what the numbers are. Like, you're really happy when you give the person that you like the most the number one. Like, that is supposed to make you the most happiest, and it should, because that's your number one, the first angle. And then when you put the second one and the third one and the fourth one and the however many to fill out all the little squares where you've got to put the thing in, right? Yeah. You can't put it above the square. No. You can't put it below. It can't be beside the square. It has to be in the square. If it's not in the square, it doesn't count.
No. There's a limit. The square has its
and the limit of the square. So if it's outside the boundary of the square and there's only a line in there, that doesn't count either. It has to be in the square or else it won't get counted. And then it has to be in the format that they want you to have inside the square. Any deviation will be considered damaged or not filled in correctly, aka informal. Man, it's amazing, like, the law that is behind it, like, and the procedure, like, to keep it honest, or at least to, as honest as it can be, of course, because there's no such thing as buying votes, right? Because that would be illegal side, wouldn't it? And that's what I'm glad about free elections. Democracy sausage is possible in a free election. I think we've done pretty well with the election coverage tonight. Like, for two spaceships, right, reporting live and direct from mum's back shed. I think we do all right. Like, we're informed. We're fairly informed. I get most of my numbers from Sportsbet because it normally tells you exactly where it's headed. Like, when it comes to betting on something, Sportsbet's got you covered. And this is not a paid commercial, all right, the Sportsbet. Just think about what gambling's doing to you, That's what you got to do. I can wish you all the best, but I advise against it. That's what it is to be a responsible turtle milker. I hope you get what you're after, but you probably won't. Be honest, all right? And that's what those commercials are about, the gambling special consequences, endings. That's what I like to think about them as. Like, when you see a gambling commercial, right, you get a consequence ending. Similar to smoking, like those butts that I showed you, the printed on the butt, little statements. Having your smoke and you got to look at this little statement in your fingers. Checking it out when you're stubbing it out, I always try to pick the cigarettes, right, that have the lady problems, right? So this is my new logic to smoking, okay? Even though it's really bad for you, and I do not recommend it. Still there, Cyber? Something. Your noise. Size off in dreamy dreamland. Requires some KLF. I know we'll probably get a copyright strike. I don't know what that is. We'll see. I've got a media device. I'm not afraid to use it. I'm sure I've got something here. Just got to look. Digs into the archives. Searches deeply. Finds the special K. He knows what he's up to. It was a long time ago. In land far away to bed made Melbourne.
Wow. Tripping. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's the cheap. It's the chilling out. The music plays. Oh man, I need it. I finally did pass out.
Oh, it's all good, brother. I rescued you.
Passed out, man. Thank you.
I rescued you, man.
I don't know what I've even been saying tonight. Have I said anything?
No, you did. You've been chatting, brother. It's all good. I get it. I needed to build a fire to get you back.
You did need to build a fire.
I needed to build a little fire underneath and just get it started again. So
I think the last thing I talked about was, and I didn't realize that, man. I never thought that. I just thought it was a how to vote thing too. That's actually an instruction, like literally.
It is. It seriously, man.
You don't need any thought. You don't know how.
You're devoid of thought. You're in the perfect state, mate. You're in the bliss. You're in bliss mode.
I think they're
total ignorance. Total ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, like you're going in there and they're like, who do you want to vote for? And they're like, oh, I want to vote for someone else. But you don't even know how. You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of concerned for people. And if they just
they don't want you to have free thought. No, I won't be tired if you do. You're the problem. You get strong armed.
You do. You go iron.
How dare you step out of mode? You're going to be made an example of. That's what's going to happen.
You've got to be an example.
You're going to be the scapegoat so we get our message across.
Oh.
So, yeah, you better be careful. You better keep in line or else you're going to end up the goat. Oh, Scapey,
Oh,
Scapey, yeah. So easy, mate. Like it's the ultimate out. You throw it all on Scapey, he's like, oh, and everyone doesn't care because, he the mongrel. Scapey cops it, mate. And then you can just exit stage left and then you're out of there, mate.
It's interesting. Yeah, escape.
Scapey.
Escapist. Escaper. Landscaping, microscaping.
Legend is some, like truthfully, they get away with murder with old Scapey. and who's best friends with Scape? Alibi. Old Scapey and Alibi are the best friends, mate.
Allah.
If Allah's on your side, if you got Alibi, if you bought Allah, or Allah, you've made that purchase in Alibi, right? Then if you got Alibi and Scapey, then mate, you get away with anything. Quite literally, you could do a 120k turd on someone's chest and just get away with it, no questions asked. If you were that way inclined, of course, And that's not pointing the finger at anybody, Everyone's got their own little kink and their own little freak. You like that, and you pay the money, then you get to do that. You drop a douche wherever the hell you want for 120k. As far as I'm concerned, you putting that coin down, you get to drop a douche wherever the fuck you want. Hey? These days, you drop it 120k, you get to douche on what the fuck you want. Money king, money the king.
Money the king.
Hey, money the king, bro. Don't matter if it credits or gold bars or, whatever you consider, to be worth a lot. Money's still king,
Here we go.
Michael, we are saying that Peter Dunn has lost.
Here we go.
It's flipped red. He had it as blue. It's flipped red.
That's so funny. I like reading the AEC. It's like this stupid fucking TV. It's go away. I did not want your ass. Did not request.
I always pause it. As soon as I go in, I just pause.
I didn't even get
I don't let them play those little auto videos.
No, that's an appears too. They're all, here we go, do that.
I'm loving the build a fire. Brought you back from the Great Divide. You were there. You were like, I was like talking to you and you was like, gone. I thought, nah. And then I did this little spiel with the whole, I know it'll get him back up. Got to build a fire to get a barbecue started. Ain't going to have no barbecue unless you build a fire.
Got to build a fire. That's what you got to do.
The more notes, the better.
Actually, no, here would be an interesting view of it.
Going to stabilise our cash. Build them bonfires made of it. Revalue your money. Make them print it again.
Has lost his seat, Dixon, after more than 2 decades in office.
There you go.
Leaving. So this is actually Sky News. I just want to say, like leaving the Liberal Party without a captain. So the way I'm interested in how they want to. Labour candidate Ali France won the seat off Dutton, Mr. Dutton.
Don't you mean
with
first
a
mate to old,
favour.
you know who? Ye shit that should she be mentioned? Turned to stone. Our own Kingsland version of Medusa.
The treasurer or the defence minister. So they're already talking about he's made a little
She's still cranky about that painting. The one the artist did, and still cracking over. That's funny as fuck.
I thought there was a. Didn't they just say there was a? No, there was. Hang on, this one did have a little video. Here we go.
Well, I'm just glad that there's more independence because each time the independence list grows, it gives the rest of the government a bit of time to think.
It gives a little time to think.
Well, like I said, man, get it to that point. Like we were discussing during the week, man. We were coming up with some crazy concepts, like having the sex party in there, the chick flashing her tits in Parliament.
Oh, I mean that's
strong men going. I want full circus, mate. If you're going to act like fucking children in like a fucking clown world, then let's get full fucking circus go inside.
Yes, well, I don't. Yeah, you don't need them. They don't mean anything. This representative, it's a democracy. They shouldn't matter who it is.
Democracy Manifest Party in there, Tourette's and
there should be no voting. You should just get chosen, and it's just like it's like the ultimate version of the jury duty, and you're just fucked. For, 4 years of your life.
Yes, sorry. Here we go. What the hell? Now we're talking.
Just like,
some real cheap going on.
I have to do it. I have to fucking do the job. And all these bloody things come at you. And
you got it for a year. That's your position. I know you didn't want it. We know. The only reason we put you in there is because we know you're going to fucking do it really well because you don't want the job. And all the hell you want to do is get the hell out of there and do it and then just go, no, that's enough. Fuck you, cunts. Big day.
Oh, fuck, it was a big day, man. I mean, I don't mind. I can do a pretty big day, but
carry the heavy load, mate.
I should see how many
camel toe.
How much camel toe I had.
Just throwing it out there for the AI, brother. Sorry to interrupt the thought stream.
Strangely enough, my watch is still on. Why is it saying that it's so low? I can't believe that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, really. I guess, was I not running, I guess? 8 kilometers. I guess a lot of it was standing, hey?
I have noticed that you've become a lot more less angry now that you're not driving.
Oh, man.
Am I correct?
Oh, way less.
Way less angry because you're not driving, hey?
Oh, Sydney is like horrific.
It's a city that you don't want to drive in.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's no fun. Like, it's just even like literally you get in your car, just getting in, well, for me, just getting in, actually where I live, getting in the car.
Now I've fired you up, haven't I? Come on.
That's enough to that is enough to...
put the fire under your butt.
We're likely to get guns pointed at you for fucking getting in a car around here.
What is that? Si, what is that?
That's how Jewish people welcome you, like into their neighborhood.
That's very
Guns.
sad, man. Very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the ultimate form of scared.
Especially if you've got Jewish blood, but you're not Jew, like then the guns really, they got the big, then they have the special guns for you. But yeah, I mean, no, I think that not driving has like eased me a lot. But like, I don't know, it can still sit, it takes away a lot of opportunity. There's also just, because, actually one of the things about not driving, like people think, oh, well, maybe the streets or something, but there's all these other things. It's like actually car parks.
You miss out on stuff because you're traveling too quick.
No,
and
you're
angered by the other drivers around you.
Yeah,
for some reason, the driving itself makes people angry.
But yeah, it does. But like as a
Having to
non-driver,
deal with other road
driving,
users creates anger.
if you don't drive, there's places you just don't go, right? You don't go to a car park.
Well, that's right. Why would you need to?
There's
You're
no
not
reason.
driving.
So that whole thing, driving around a car park,
looking
down
for the
another
thing,
floor,
looking for the park, trying to get the thing, and then no.
You just get out of the train.
And you go to where you got to go. So get your things, go back in the train, go home.
And so there's
eliminates that whole the hassle of driving, and that's what driving is. It is a hassle. I've got my hat is always off to all those heavy vehicles on the roads that don't just smash other fuckwit drivers on the roads. Yes. My hat is off to those people because they have the weaponry in their hands to just take out a lot of those little shits. All right, and that's in the Carmageddon kind of mindset. Like if you and that big thing, what is that? It's just like pushing dirt around, And I'm thankful that they don't drive in that manner and that they do their jobs the way they do them. Because without them, again, the whole place stops. There is no movement of things if there's not without people moving it, isn't it?
No, well,
And look, eventually that service will be, with localization, it will diminish, but there'll still be movement of things around.
Yep.
But it won't be to the amount that it is now.
No.
There'll be, that mindset will, do we need to shunt, 1,000 lettuce when, such and such is growing 1,000 lettuce and we can just buy them off him or, at the reasonable price of the local product?
Well, not even a reasonable price.
Yeah. Or they go buy them from the person. That's it.
There's just like, if that's...
Yeah, they got that, oh, yep, I need these. Yeah, we'll swap them around.
But I suspect we'll have to get to a point where it's accepted, for example, that we... Like, okay, I was thinking about the other day, actually, how do we go? What more do we take for, like, say, for example, local governments and stuff to start saying, we're hiring farmers and we're just going to plant out all the verge with fucking food. Yeah, people need food. We're just going to start planting food. Yeah. Like, and our suburbs...
Integrate into the actual,
and I know that we don't have to have, there's many...
Parks and other projects.
More conversations about it all the time.
Well, you've experienced some of that with the whole Northey Street side.
Yeah, but I think
it's possible. Like you can still have a lovely park and there's things you can go there and just eat,
I've worked on a farm. You look around.
You go get a feed.
And your streets are like a bit curvy and wobbly and stuff. But even those, like, they're rows. They're rows, like basically if you look at the city from the top down.
It's already chopped up into little
it's little
growable
orchards.
sections. Yeah,
it's fucking chopped up into growing sections. It's designed because it came from that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's designed.
And all we've done is make it smaller.
Yeah. So you just like need to, and I mean still, like you look around like here, planning out would be supplemental. It wouldn't be.
Well, you'd have to engage the whole companions program because if you're going to integrate food with
so
suburbia,
many hard farmers. The things in the past, like where all those fruit trees got removed, and it was like, oh, well, they created fruit growers and stuff. It's because we left it up to individuals, and they're like, as shops came, it just became less interesting, and then just your old grandma had some lemon tree, and you're like, why?
Yeah, because she liked her lemons that she grew from.
It was actually just the last surviving tree of when they used to eat the food.
Yes. The last hold up. Grandma holding it, just clutching it. You can't take me lemons. Yeah,
it was the last thing that at least I could eat them. Yeah. It's just a long-lived tree, that's all. And then, so I guess but now you wouldn't do that. Now you would actually you'd integrate, you just hire farmers. They're part of the council, whatever, that would be just jobs. Just get rid of jobs.
And they just, you grab the food product and,
so it's all managed, it's all harvested and,
Or brought back to the local distribution centre that, services
that
the
works,
community.
through the community. Maybe it's not centralised, it's just sort of distributed, but it could be. You could, and then
you could even, get to that point where you just mandate what kind of stuff you want. Grow it seasonally.
Yeah.
Oh, we want this.
As a community.
Everyone wants this as a community. Yeah. So 70% will be this particular thing, and the other 30 will be what the other people want. Vote what you want, and you get that part.
Broad beans, whatever.
10% broad beans, just because of demand from the pooling. What they've decided.
Yeah, you could get some.
You know, if you wanted, you could trade between, like, another community wanted these, but they don't grow that or they don't have that, and
It doesn't
you
grow
swap
well.
with the other. Well, it's in that position, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
So someone grows here and someone grows there. You're in the grape growing
Region,
or the
and you need
mandarin
tomatoes.
part of the city.
Yeah, that's it. They do an exchange.
Like
Your rep sends their, takes
like
their
Brisbane's
to
huge,
the middle point. They do the swap.
Brisbane's huge as an urban area. Imagine like the orchard, like if you thought about it as the size of an orchard, the whole of Brisbane or the whole of Sydney.
Oh man, there'd be excess food.
Yeah,
yeah.
It'd be the biggest farm in the city in the country, kind of thing, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be a farm city.
Yeah.
Everyone have what they wanted or needed and be provided within the one place.
Oh, more so. I mean, it actually wouldn't. I don't like. I've done some.
Well,
math
it
on
would because you could spread it out and then you could trade in between the different, climates which require the certain, thing to grow the thing, right? And that's where your trade is. Like your trade is in between those different climatal position. You want coffee, then you've got to do the, three things of the, whatever to get the coffee. Depending on how hard it is to grow, or there's your trade and you pass around. What value does the food have, or is how much you're willing to pay for it. If you're not a person if you don't drink coffee and you just want tea, then you pay a higher price for tea because that's what you want. Actually get the free thing. Okay, you want coffee, then you've got to import it from those countries that do the coffee, and then you pay the extra for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, things like coffee, that's a little different because we're actually in a place, isn't it, where like just the climatic condition changing in the world is making it less hospitable for coffee. It's like
Correct.
That's just
so alternatives will need to be
coffee's just
banned.
fucked out. It's just dying off.
Put the coke back in cocaine.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. The coke back. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. It's not, on one level, it's nice to think about. Like, say, like I've looked at the urban farming thing, and so
Healthy replacements.
I'm supportive of it.
Think of healthy replacements.
But at the same time as I'm supportive of it, we've got to
Better
say,
to chew the coca leaf than to refine it.
Well, is it actually like, for example, like a mandarin tree? Let's say just mandarins.
Yeah, true. Single one. Yeah.
Yeah, like a mandarin tree, like might make 40, 50 mandarins in a season.
Yeah, it has whatever capacity depending on how large the
and mandarin trees are maybe
right.
like maybe need about a 2 by 2, like 4 square meters.
Yeah,
maybe.
basically fit in that space. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's about right.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less. So, like along your
If
frontage.
it was for personal, you wouldn't have to have it grow big. You just grow it to the size that would yield the fruit.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
One mandarin tree grows 50 mandarins in a season. The average, like if you think about someone going to the shop and then buy mandarins for the house, just through
How
the
often would they do it? Yeah. But how much ends up waste?
Yeah, but I mean, just because you grow it on a tree doesn't mean it's not going to be waste. They're still going to probably like take the mandarin and
Would you
not gonna
be
eat
forced to recycle the seeds?
You'd have to do that,
other things?
okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm just trying to say is that, so let's say you've got a mother, father, 2 kids. The kids eat the mandarins. The adults eat them, they eat a little bit. The kids like the mandarins, and the adults eat some.
They eat enough to not get scurvy. Yep.
They maybe eat one a day, the kids one or two a day, but maybe not the whole season though. So maybe like in the peak of
Well,
it,
you
they might
swap
be
up the fruit, like the seasonal with the fruit.
and they're eating like 5 or 10 a week in the peak. You're like 50 goes quickly.
It is consumed quickly, that's right.
For a family of 4, that's like 10 each or something,
Yeah, and then gone.
Yeah, that's one tree.
Week's worth, 2 weeks worth.
Yeah, gone. There's mandarins. Now, that's not, I'm saying that's wrong, but maybe that's a big expectation shift. It's not like, I might have some mandarins this week and 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 this week.
In the old days, they would boil it up and then turn it into conserve size, so it would last longer. You'd spread it on
but you don't
toast.
have enough. Like you've literally got 50. You ate them all.
Yeah, but what if you didn't eat them all and you just turned them into conserve and then you could have them on toast?
So you didn't, you had
spread
mandarin
it
jam
out, as they say. Yeah,
That's
spread it
then
on
you were
toast.
you had jam for a year. Yeah, and mandarin and
That's right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
And the belt tightens, you use the product you have, but you use it more effectively.
So currently, nationally, in the previous election, 27 seats to 12 seats, like half.
Oof, yes. That is is that punching up or punching down? Because I think it's punching down. That's punching down, isn't it? Like they're trying to get up and you just hit them hard. Oof. Lost confidence.
What are they even going to? Yeah, this is a.
Yeah, this is a representation of lost confidence. Inability.
But in the same way, I just want to say, there's work. Oh my God, I wonder. You know what? Australia's just becoming a one-party. Has basically become a one-party state.
Pretty much.
Like seriously. Like I mean, like okay, one party.
It's all red now.
Labor has 81.
All red.
All red.
All red. Yep. What happened in America?
All red.
All red, cunt.
Like seriously, like it's ridiculous. Like 81 to 12.
Well, you don't change shit, man.
When
something's going to go down, you don't change anything.
Well, no, what you do is but in this way you can make decisions. Once again, you got basically, how do you form an opposition with 12 people?
You don't. There is no opposition side.
There's none.
Nil. Squash like bugs. You are the buzzing of flies to them.
It'll be interesting to see these last, like, what are we down to now? 18 seats.
Yeah.
Still Brisbane. And
always difficult. Bastards. It's okay. They've got a lot of feelings going on. You know, the core of Kingsland always has a lot of feelings going on.
Yeah, there still could be some big change.
I know. Just got to wait. That's what I love about the old Down Under elections, you know.
But
Keep you on your toes, you know.
Yeah, but there won't be any kind of like waiting till like a week for a postal.
No,
like there might be one electorate.
There's too many numbers already, Si.
Oh, mass the numbers.
Too many numbers already. All it's going to do is just square it up. All that's going to happen with the last little, piss trickle down economic dribble, right, is going to be like securing
plus 4.5%, 5%. And then if you don't have an effective opposition and you still manage to do nothing...
that would mean you're pretty impotent, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to be impotent as fuck. In fact, you'd have no balls.
None.
No balls. If you were given that opportunity and you didn't do something, you would have no balls.
I suspect that's what's about to happen. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what does this give them a mandate to do? Like, okay.
Well, they just,
Does it solve, is
stick to
this
the
going to
policy.
solve housing? Is it going to make my rent go down?
No.
No.
Come on, Si, what the fuck are you talking about? When does rent ever go down?
Fucking do anything.
When has rent in the entirety of fucking human history ever gone down?
Well, it's when you got a war and you're just living in blown apart buildings and no one's collecting rent.
Then only. When you're at the mercy of fucking nature and mankind.
That's
then
right.
yeah, that's when you live rent-free, cunt, okay? There's no other time and place in living history where rent has not gone up.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks any otherwise is living in a fantasy. Yeah. The only time it goes down is when the house burns down, and then it doesn't cost you anything because you can't live there no more.
No.
All right? AKA, let's not do a Rome part 2.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't. Just don't. Okay? Humanity, have some common sense. Don't do a Rome part 2. Idiots. Don't need that shitty behaviour.
We have managed to make it to 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing.
Is that 3 hours plus a half hour that we did for the opening, Russian intro to the Super Cheap?
I didn't know. The actual record time was
Super
3 minutes.
democratic, socialistic
So there's 3 times.
sausage, yeah.
There's a like mine says that we've been going for 4 hours 25 minutes.
Okay.
But we've been recording for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then YouTube.
You sort of started at the end of where the repeated Russian calling card was going.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to give a big shout out to anyone who might be hearing this in Russia. That's the reason why we do this. The cheap is talk is cheap. Eventually we may translate into all languages thanks to Google. Gooey Girl is one of our favourite sponsors. So I don't know about you, but I've always been a Gooey Girl fan, from way back. I love my Gooey Girls, or Gooey Gals. Goo Gal? Yeah. Always love the Goo Gals. Good cheap. Democracy sausage isn't easy. Well, it is. If you don't want to make any choices, you just grab the card.
Yeah. Do what you're told.
Do what you're told.
Get ripped off in the way you understand.
No. Nice little sheep. Get what you're given. Okay? That's the way democracy sandwich works that way. Nice little sheep. Get what you're given. If you ain't happy about it and you can't find that, none of the above, then take the other approach and just put the independence in there. Make it real clown world. I want to see sex parties titties out and the camera's just zooming in on it. The argument going on in the corner, you can hear it, but all you're seeing is titties. And that would be perfect. All right?
I just want the whole building.
That would work for me. Yeah.
I want no levels of politics. All the governance is fine.
I could hear it. I could listen to them scream like fucking toddlers in a preschool if there were titties on the screen. Like it would be acceptable.
Oh yeah, okay, you sort of like you can balance the trade-off.
I could balance the trade-off of the squealing children and then the titties, the mummy milkers. That would make it worthwhile watching or even bearing to listen to. That's a bit of a rep to the one of the channels I watch, which is bearing down the Goldie. He lives in the Smurfs area. Yeah, got some, makes some cool content. He's been doing it for a while. Critiquing society, A lot of us do it, especially Aussies, man. It's good. If you ain't taking the piss, then what are you doing? Everything's up for debate. Everything's up for debate.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably it. You're just not debating. You're just accepting. Just, you're going, whatever.
Sometimes you've got to jostle, Not necessarily Fight Club where you have to make mincemeat out of each other, but don't be afraid of words. There's a closer for the
don't be afraid of words.
Don't be afraid of words.
Have conversations.
Yeah.
Cooperate. Like, help each other improve. Like, if you see your opposition doing something silly, go, hey, no, don't make it hard on yourself. Like, you're trying to win, aren't you?
Yeah.
Come on, let's all try and win this together.
That's it.
Like, have a good time. And like, let's make the sport bring us together. Sport brings people people together. And I think and if you're going to treat this thing as sport, then let that bring it together.
Will they have
If
T-Rex?
you're two teams,
If
then
they're
go
going
and
to
have
use
beers
T-Rex leather
afterwards
for a
together.
handbag site, can we have T-Rex footballs? Can we
Imagine.
play? Oh man, imagine kicking around a dinosaur all night. Can we have T-Rex leather footballs? Can we do that? Is that something we can achieve?
Yes, we can. And I think we should. I think it's a real exertion of
For the
dominance.
sport, man. Absolutely. Of a previous time, the dominance over a prehistoric time.
Yeah, millions of years just
to
kicking
prove
it.
that we are truly
Daily
way
kicking.
ahead of the dinosaurs.
In the head. It's going to keep kicking it.
Yeah,
The dead.
do us.
Yeah. And you don't even have to catch one. We just make the skin.
Yeah, build the football.
Just so that it's not,
Start
we don't
kicking
have to
around.
deal with the whole one.
Mate, ultimate success over time. Like it is a time battle. Resurrection. Who needs it?
Dead things.
They do. Yeah. Dirt wants to go to space, and it wants to go to space in all forms, mate. We're going to have to take it out there. Maybe we need the past to get back to space. How about that?
We need space dinosaurs.
We need dinosaurs to actually go to space.
Yeah,
We're not
we've
going
got
to
to bring them back
so
so that they can go to space.
I get my
What
raptor
if?
feet bucket.
No.
I get my raptor feet bucket.
What if? No.
We get the footballs.
You've nailed it. You've hit
Bam,
upon
we're on
something
the
here.
way. We're getting somewhere.
Dinosaurs
Yeah.
were like, we don't have the necessary hands to make what we need to get off planet.
No.
And then collectively, millions and millions of these fuckers, they were like, right, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take a hit
Yep,
for
with
our
the team.
future selves.
For the team.
Yeah, and we're going to have to all die so that we can make it oil.
Make that glorious sacrifice so that our oils can seep up through the ground.
That's it.
Power the vehicles of the next generation. So
That will
they
then
may build.
reconstruct us.
They will.
They will reconstruct
As a courtesy
us.
as our ancestors, they will reconstruct us and
then
make
we will dominate those
fashionable-
fuckers.
Fashionable items that the people can, string on their shoulders to,
That'll be-
show
that-
status. They can
That was the
wear
error.
us like
They
a
didn't
status
estimate.
symbol.
No, they didn't estimate that we would turn them into handbags. They thought they would actually Jurassic Park it. We would Jurassic Park them, but we didn't.
We resurrect them completely.
No, we just made eggs and fucking fried them up.
Of course, man. Of course, yeah. Footballs, kicked them in the face every day. That's it. And Matt is just kicking them in the face
Eternity.
hard.
Kicking in the
forever.
face.
Eternity.
The
Thanks
boot did finally come
giving us
down, but it was on the
opposable
dinosaurs.
thumbs, you assholes.
Yeah.
Now we've got to build
Screw
rockets so
you.
that Dirk can get off space. Bucks get into space. Thanks very much for
lot of
all that
effort.
responsibility. Yeah.
They
It's taken
took all
us
of
millions
us.
of years to do so.
Yeah, and if we fuck it up, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
We've let everyone down.
We might as well wrap ourselves in dinosaur skins and bury ourselves upside down in failure. You know what I mean?
Just hope.
Yeah, just hope that we turn into mushrooms.